instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavit, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Display going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Esports U. My name is Soy. Alongside me is Kilo Miles, and we are getting ready for some SSBU singles matchups, and this should be a fun day. Miles, how's it going?
It's pretty good because we're seeing what the top of the echelon in this group of Smash players is here in singles. It's always going to be a good match when you see two of the heaviest hitters going head to head. And Flying Fish versus Insignia, we have been excited for this since we heard about it earlier today. And I'll be honest, Soy, this is definitely going to be one of the better matchups we've seen all season. It's fairly even from what it looks like.
Yeah, we'll be covering B in this bracket here, and Flying Fish and Insomnia the Arrogant are two players that are, like you mentioned, atop the pool. Flying Fish so far undefeated this season at 5-0. Insignia only one loss so far, 4-1. We are underway with team number one. Insignia on the Bowser, Flying Fish on the Captain Falcon.
And what I'm looking for right away here, Soy, is the fact that Flying Fish is gonna have an easier time getting in theory, but then you see things like this, where stray hit after stray hit just leads to Flying Fish at 1,000,000,000%, and Insignia, shockingly for their heavy stature, is barely touched. But once Flying Fish gets in, that's where I'm expecting big things.
Woohoo! And there it is, the opening. Gets that falling up air, able to string it together into that up B, and that's the first stock gone despite being at a deficit here. Flying Fish able to survive. Like the idea of the run-off forward air there, and the up B just dipped a little bit too low to get around that hitbox, so he's unable to recover from it. And just like that, we're back to a tied game.
And I love the liberal use of Nair, but speaking of the Nair, using it to get Insignia off stage, Flying Fish keeping off the pressure, but going for a big risk again, but it pays off with the stomp. Now Flying Fish trying to apply pressure at ledge, catches the jump, opportunity to finish the stock right here, but whiffs the knee, and now it's Insignia getting a chance to play.
Early side B there from Flying Fish. They're able to use the Falcon kick back, and they're going to get that odd spot, a down air to hit them outside, and that will take stock number 2. So now it's a pretty significant lead here for Flying Fish. Insignia looking to get these forward tilts, try to go for side B there in the air, but Nair beat it out. Now a grab here, off stage, another Nair, up air here, waits, fades back, good back air here, and this could be an opportunity off the ledge, gets another forward tilt. Insignia kept to this corner of the stage for so long, down air, up tilt, won't be able to follow up on the back of it, now finds a back air, and up smash will scoop and kill, and that's game 1 going to Flying Fish.
And you could see Insignia there was hungry for a reversal. They'd be out of hit stun and throwing out a back air and nair every single time. But those reversals that gave Insignia so much headway in the early stages of that match were their detriment at the end because Flying Fish was ready for it every single time. Just hit them, wait for the move to come out, Bowser's in lag because he's Bowser, and then get another strong punish. Flying Fish was running away with it.
Yeah, and especially too, once Bowser gets off stage, it's so easy, once you said, or like you said, once you get that opening to just string hits together on this big body, and then the minute they're in the corner, Falcon's got so many different ways to counteract Bowser's recovery, the back air, the stomp. I mean, it was just so difficult for Insignia to get out of disadvantage. And like you said, although they were getting some punishes early, although they were finding reversals, it's not going to be as easy here in round number 2. Tough Guy Armor will help on that rapid jab, though, to help intercept that move. But so far, it's going to be Flying Fish being the one kind of in control of the tempo of this matchup.
You see that sliding up tilt, though? Insignia is getting creative with those combo starters and being creative with how they avoid Flying Fish in neutral, but the problem is once Flying Fish is in, the punish game is just so brutal. And more than that, the finishers right there on the combos goes to the stomp through the platform, but Insignia is not engaging whatsoever with these shenanigans. Doesn't matter, though, still gonna get caught, kicked to the chest, and now you're off stage. Can Insignia recover right there? The soft knee, is that enough to finish them? Yes, it is. Insignia goes down.
Wow, what an odd trade, but perfectly spaced there by Flying Fish. Just enough knockback to keep Bowser away. Insignia dropping that opening stock, and now forward tilted off stage once more. Low recovery here that Flying Fish will not be really easily able to counter at the moment. Tries to go for those down airs, but he's not able to two-frame it. Down air used by Insignia to help him get out of the corner. There's another sliding up tilt. Now gets the side B, won't find the platform. Probably needed it there as Flying Fish is able to recover, use the Falcon kick to get back to the stage. Insignia is so close to tracking down this Falcon, but Flying Fish is staying alive.
Twice clanked with Falcon kick, got a vendetta against that move at this point, as getting caught in the jump once again, that kill on Bowser max rage on Falcon is brutal, because now Flying Fish is up 2 stocks to 1, about to be up 2 games to 1 unless Insignia can mount a massive comeback.
Big forward tilt there to get one off the board here, but they're going to need so much. Forward air into up tilt. Now the multi-hits of Nair are connecting. Catches the landing with that forward tilt again, and Insignia is starting to string together some stray hits, but a grab comes through. Able to air dodge around that second Nair. Now the up tilt, or sorry, up B comes through along the ledge. Up air from the ledge there from Flying Fish, trying to get creative with his reversals, or at least trying to get back to the stage. Now another grab comes through. Back air this time around from Insignia. Using that neutral B. Good fade there from Flying Fish to get back to the ledge, but he will die to that platform. The down air doesn't hit through, and the up smash will kill.
Oh, parries the second into up smash, and right now Insignia has an opportunity right here. Bowser at 91 could be a death sentence, but one good string is all you need. Gets the parry on the Falcon kick too. No more clanks on that one, my friend. As Flying Fish now slows down the pace a little bit, but gets jabbed right out, and they go for another Falcon kick. Brazen! As trade after trade, Flying Fish, they're even it up in percent, but Insignia is far and away into kill percent.
This is where things can get difficult. That down tilt should kill outright, just barely catching Insignia before he gets to the ledge, and that's a 2-0 set lead for Florida State's Flying Fish.
But Insignia really gave us a thrill right there, especially towards the end. I really feel like they brought back that disciplined play that they had towards the beginning, but there was a lot more of a threat behind it. Because while they were being very disciplined in the early stages of the first 2 matches, they were really only getting like 1 or 2 stray hits, nothing massive, just reversal after reversal. This time, though, they were keeping themselves in advantage that whole time, and that means that Flying Fish had to respect their neutral play a lot more.
Yeah, and I think that last stock was really where that was most evident, right? The fact that while they were getting stray hits, they were, like you said, keeping themselves in advantage. I feel like if they're able to play like that through the early parts of the game, they're going to feel a lot better, because that early lead that Flying Fish was able to build up for themselves was just so much for Insignia to try and overcome here as we run it back to PS2-4 game number 3, and already stringing together these up airs. Ooh, I love the idea there, and it's an easy follow-up from Flying Fish. Only 16% on him, and he's already working on stock number 2.
Not a lot of people have the bravado to go for a challenge on that up B. Grab right through that jab means that Insignia has Flying Fish towards the ledge. Insignia trying to go for these stomps through the platforms. They've been their friend thus far, but Insignia keeps getting punishes, keeps forcing Flying Fish towards the ledge. And even though Flying Fish's defensive play at the ledge has been amazing throughout the game, Insignia is keeping the pressure up until they're not. And now all of a sudden, Flying Fish has advantage once again.
It's interesting to see Insignia use these down Bs to try and snap to that ledge here. It's not something you see all too frequently, but that up B, maybe a chance here. Ooh, Insignia didn't pull the trigger early on an aerial, and he will drop his stock for it. The Falcon kick sweeps across the stage and sweeps away stock number 2.
With a little bit of a flourish, Flying Fish has the same lead that he had in the beginning of the second game, but does it matter? Because Insignia was able to mount a comeback that time. Can they do it again? Already got a stock off the board, pulling the parries out as well. This is Insignia's last chance to get a point on the board.
See if they can come up with something here. 26% on their last stock. Every little bit matters here for Flying Fish. Neutral air into side B. Can't string together that up air. Good patient recovery from Insignia. Forward tilted off stage yet again. Cannot find that first hit. Oh, wow, what a combo. And he went for an air dodge read there with that forward smash. But these aerials from Flying Fish are just so dangerous. 75% already racked up onto Insignia. Looking to find another move. Tried to get that down smash out, but that second hitbox just couldn't come out fast enough. Side B here to the platform. Flying Fish nowhere near kill percentage yet. Dipped low, was dangerous, but he's forward tilted off stage again. Side B in, gets caught by the neutral B, and there's a good forward tilt cleanup, and once again, it's one stock apiece.
Insignia on their last stock is a force to be reckoned with, but Flying Fish has been able to rack up 100% already. Insignia has to play perfectly right here because one good opening is all Flying Fish needs. Tech chase right here, but Insignia does not overcommit. Waits for Flying Fish to do it instead. Right now, this patience is paying off in a big way, but whiffs the forward smash. Doesn't matter though. Insignia keeps up the pressure.
Be very careful here. One strong smash and that could do the trick, and it will be Insignia. Run up smash catches the Falcon jumping, and that's game 3 going to Southern New Hampshire's Insignia.
Reverse 3 stock and a potential at a reverse 3-0 because Insignia was able to shut down Flying Fish's 3-0. And oh my gosh, the way we saw Insignia get a tech chase right in the center of stage. Bowser lives for that. You're gonna get a big hit. And Insignia just waited. They watched. And they waited for Flying Fish to neutral get up and Falcon kick directly into them, giving them the opening they needed to take that game. What patience right there.
And we even saw it too, just a little bit of antsiness from the side of Flying Fish, going for that forward smash read when he could have gone for something like up smash that had killed multiple times. We'd seen him go for those catches on the jump from ledge numerous times. He had Bowser above him, but instead he tries to read an air dodge, and he ends up giving Bowser a second chance at life. That Falcon punch is a little bit greedy, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what he was trying to read there, but either way, Insignia gets a slight punish off the back of it. Dead even through the first 30 seconds here.
I love how Insignia is using these nairs as more of a wall than a combo tool like most Bowsers do. But speaking of combo tools, here's these up airs come out, gets through that jab with a grab, and right now Flying Fish is looking to press their advantage, but Insignia has been good on their recoveries so far. Can they get back? Gets around the down air.
Able to get around that up smash too from Flying Fish. Down B's back to the ledge. Able to roll around that up smash. Good grab here on the side B. Gets to the other platform. Not going to be able to take the stock quite yet though. Threatening, good. Down B just barely intercepts. And the back air. Able to weave around that hitbox. Up air to knock Insignia away. Recovery low. Able to get around that down tilt as well. Tried to get another side B. Won't be able to find it. This one though on the platform should do the trick, and it will. And for the first time this series, Insignia takes the first stop.
Oh, but not for long, as now it is an even game once again. Very creative use of this Falcon kick throughout this set. Flying Fish is used as a combo starter, ender, and of course recovery tool, and right now they need something to get out of this combo. Gets caught up with the Bowser bomb, and right now we see Flying Fish once again in an even percent, but they're not looking to drop this. Loses the air dodge 50-50 though, and that means Insignia is back on stage.
Good back air here. Flying Fish is now in the corner. Tries to go for down air. Now we'll get forward tilted off stage. Low spike there attempt by Flying Fish. Will find air instead. Insignia. Oh, got caught jumping back in, and that's the sweet hitbox of knee coming through and taking down that second stock off the board. Won't be able to find the forward tilt off the back of it. Insignia looking for a way to even things up. This is one of the more minimal leads that Flying Fish has really had. He's at 150 here on stock number 2. One strong hit should do it. Goes for not grounded up B, and it won't connect. Shield is getting low as well. Be able to snap back to the ledge. Side B here won't reach the platform, and Flying Fish will find a way to survive.
Oh, the aggression off stage. I love the risks they're taking. Flying Fish gets through with a neutral air dodge and gets aggressive right off of it. Insignia knows they have to end this stock now if they want a chance, and the down air spike will do it. One stock remaining on each side, and Insignia has made these comebacks before. Insignia on their last stock has been the story of this match. Can they make it happen again? As Flying Fish, their defensive play, especially on the recoveries, has been so much to surmount.
That air dodge around the Falcon kick was so clutch from Insignia. They're able to grab the ledge here. They roll back here. Now battling for stage control. Insignia looking to forward air. Ooh, trying to wait. Again, that spot dodge coming out early. Flying Fish just pressing so many buttons, and Insignia just playing patient, waiting for their opportunity to punish. But right now, it is in Flying Fish's favor. 61 to 130. Gentleman jab to knock them off stage. How does Bowser get back here? Patient low recovery, but he waited too long, and Flying Fish gifted a stock and gifted the set because of it.
But there is a reason why we saw Insignia go that low. How many times, Soy? How many times did Flying Fish go for that super low spike? You had to respect it. You had to wait for it. But after going for it so many times, well, it looked like Insignia waited a little too long before they realized, oh, that spike's not coming, and I'm real close to the blast zone. And that meant it is Insignia going down, and Flying Fish taking it home 3-1 for Florida State University.
And Flying Fish continues to fly high here in this bracket, remains undefeated. They're now 6-0 through this pool, and Insignia, they dropped to 4-2, but that was a fast-paced matchup, and you love to see it, and I'm sure that when playoffs come around, there's a good chance these two will meet up again. The way that they played, Insignia on last stock, like you mentioned, was just a beast, but Flying Fish gets the job done here and looks fantastic in doing so, and that's just our first set of the day. We've got another set coming up after a short break here. We'll get ready for that. Another Florida State player stepping into the ring. This time they'll be going up against Stack's Neo Joe, but that's all after this, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the ECC SSBU singles. We are getting ready for our second match of the day. It's Florida Frog going up against Neo Joe. So Florida State re-entering the ring with a new player.
Yeah, and this is bound to be an interesting one because Frog also near the top of the rankings, actually technically number 2 right now. But, I mean, this far in the season, it's still fairly close. Neo Joe sitting pretty at number 4, and this is a chance for Neo Joe to claw their way back up towards, because if Neo Joe wins, then they're going to only be 1 win under Frog. Meanwhile, Frog has had a pretty substantial season, only dropping 1 match throughout the entire time. That's not bad at all. We'll see how they stand up, though. I mean, if they are anything like their friend Flying Fish, then it's not going to be ideal for Neo Joe. But Neo Joe is from Stack, who are notorious as the gatekeeper team. Don't get past Stack unless you're going to be in top 4. So we will see. We will see if Florida State can get through this gatekeeper, or if Neo Joe is going to hold the line, because it is going to be Neo Joe open it up on the Pokemon Trainer and, of course, Frog on the Incineroar.
Yeah, and like you said, Neo Joe, a lot of experience playing on the Stack squad in crew battle format here, but we get to see them here in singles, and this is a matchup that, you know, in theory should be in Pokemon Trainer's favor, but Incineroar is just a character that I feel like kind of says, I do not care who my opponent is. I am just going to, you know, hit you like a truck, and that's what he's doing so far. A good 50% racked up, but with the Ivysaur on screen, that Razor Leaf could be a problem. Tries to go for a back air, gets a grab here. Frog now rolling in, looking for an opening. Can't spot dodge around the multi-hit, will be forced to the ledge.
Right off the bat, Neo Joe's getting a lot of mileage off these Razor Leafs. I want to see more. Incineroar just doesn't have a lot of ways to burst through it, and they're going to get caught in the air as Frog does get a stock advantage. But right back to the Ivysaur right here is trying to finish the stock with forward smash. Not going to happen, though, as Neo Joe forced to try and play the ledge trap game.
Trying to make good use of this Ivysaur. The up B will not connect. It's Frog using their up B to evade. Now back throw from center stage. Incineroar should be able to live through this. Early up B again. Switching now to Charizard is Neo Joe. Looking to find a way to take this kill, but unable to do so. And now they are caught in the combos. No juggle, or at least, minimal juggle. And actually forward air is just going to kill outright there on Frog. A little bit slow to get that stock, but still able to take it. Now the Squirtle out here trying to get an early combo, but Frog able to jab away. Cannot punish there, and actually sliding underneath that down smash was Neo Joe. But the Squirtle, I feel like, is where Neo Joe can potentially find some good advantage, but it's easier said than done. Frog's defense so far has been good.
And up to 70%. Would not mind a switch to Ivysaur right now, but that little stall in the air is all Frog needed to get that down air. And the lingering effects of that are still going on. Gets another down air to open the stock just as you closed it. Up B hits Neo Joe up, and now you've got to escape disadvantage, and that's one thing Incineroar never wants you to do. But that stray down smash is not going to catch, and that means Neo Joe has another lease on life.
Landing neutral B is one that we don't frequently see there from Frog, and that's one that's actually going to help him out, get some good damage on board. Neo Joe now switching to the Charizard. Cannot find a way to track down that up B properly, takes some damage for it. 120 now onto Frog after that dash attack. Low recovery, neutral B will get a little bit more damage online. It's a quick forward tilt after that side B whiffs, and Neo Joe the punish and gets it down the last stock piece.
Bit of a jab to open things up, but that at such a low percent, Frog, you know they're going to go for those reversals. It's every heavy's bread and butter. And right here, the ledge trap, you got to know the forward tilt's coming out, but the nair, the lingering, is not enough to keep Neo Joe away from ledge, but now another chance to finish things off. Frog just playing things safe, not overcommitting with these aerials until they can get the forward tilt. Cheeto Fingers come out, and that is gonna be Frog going up 1-0 in this set. But I'll say, Neo Joe did not make it easy.
That Charizard actually put in a lot of work there, and I think that's something that we've seen a little bit more of after watching, you know, a lot of Neo Joe, is that in that crew battle format where every stock really significantly matters, you tend to lean towards the heavier characters towards the end where you need those stocks to survive. The Charizard, I think they're being a bit more practiced, getting the job done there to bring things back to that one stock apiece. But at the end of the day, once he was in the corner, there was just no getting out. Frog had the reads and had the coverage.
Yeah, and I think of how Incineroar moves as like a lowercase t, has a really high jump, can jump up and down really fast with that fast fall, and then that burst, that side B, you can move a little bit in either direction with that grab. The problem is, how do you get around that? Circumvent that, because you're not going to really see Incineroar coming in diagonally. So I want to see Neo Joe take away that horizontal movement, force Incineroar to move in the air. How? Razor Leaf. Razor Leaf, Razor Leaf, Razor Leaf, Razor Leaf, and you can't just throw it out. You need to also show that you're capable of punishing and killing off of it too.
That Ivysaur going to be something to watch here in game number 2. But the Squirtle out earlier to start on Battlefield for game number 1. Frog going for an aggressive option. And oh my mercy, down smash is nearly going to kill this Squirtle at 76%. Low recovery intercepted by the Nair. Can't tether back. Doesn't have the jumps. And that's a 0 to death from Frog here in game number 2 to start things off.
And Perry almost gives an opening, but the multi-hit, that means Neo Joe is back on the block. Avoids the Nair right here, and Neo Joe keeps up the pressure, but it doesn't matter because Frog is going to play this stock advantage to the cows come home. Again, not overcommitting. Plays on that platform knowing that Neo Joe isn't going to get a huge combo off of that one stray hit aerial, and pressures in the corner. Up, he had a shield, will get Neo Joe to safety though.
Good back air here from Neo Joe. Trying to make this Squirtle work. Again, another up B out of the corner, getting some damage online. Neutral air used. Good forward air to stuff out that side B as well. Neo Joe just trying to make all these Pokemon work, and the Squirtle right now getting a lot of time here early in game number 2. Another up B, but that's going to be punished, and here comes the Juggles. 2, 3 up airs now connecting. Make that 4 here. Almost got a 5th, but the switch to Charizard was necessary from Neo Joe. Now finds an up air, but it's instead Revenge. This is a side B. Is that the stock? Yes, it is! All that weight will not matter. The kill power of Incineroar coming online.
And people say Charizard can't learn Fly, but at such a low percent, that Revenge is brutal. As right now, Neo Joe is trying to find their way back into things. I feel like Ivysaur is a chance to kind of keep them out of here, but you've got to find a way to rack up this damage. And Neo Joe, they're more comfortable on the Squirtle. It's clear that that's one of their more comfortable picks, and yet, even so, that leaves you open to a lot of damage right here as Ivysaur comes out so you can get the tether.
Tried to get a reversal there off that down air, but not too much off the back of it. Another up B used, and that's going to be an SD from Frog. We've seen him go for that 2 times already, and neither one really connecting, but he's got that stock to play with. But now things are dead even. Down air, into up air. Won't kill the Ivysaur quite yet. Up B's back to stage, and here comes the Charizard. That reverse hit of up smash nearly killed. Now at 133, Neo Joe cannot afford another mistake. Neutral B on shield is dangerous. Nearly got the shield break off of it, but instead got the poke. A knockdown here, a forward tilt off stage. Frog's got to be careful here. Incineroar's recovery is not all that great. And now an up B towards the ledge. Neo Joe trying to get out of the corner. Back air won't land. Up tilt did not connect either. The neutral air gets revenged once more. Frog holding center stage, and he'll find the back air, and that will be game 2 going to Frog.
And that's not just back air, that was revenge back air. Because Neo Joe was so desperate to get a hit, swinging every single which way they could, and one forward tilt was all you needed to light the flames right there. Because, oh boy, Incineroar with revenge. We saw that be the killing blow 2 times, and there's no mystery as to why, but, I mean, come on, I don't even think you needed it at that high of a percent. After that lead you built, I mean, Incineroar, I feel like better than most characters than finishing off their food, because all Incineroar needs is 2 mistakes. 1 to give them the revenge, and 1 for them to actually take revenge on you.
And in this case, what immediately jumps to mind, too, is that Battlefield pick goes completely awry. You get more Juggles from Incineroar, and that Razor Leaf was just completely mitigated. We almost never saw it. Neo Joe opting to go for Squirtle more frequently, and when Ivysaur was on the stage, it was almost always in terms of recovery. But look at this, quick 76 racked up onto Neo Joe, and again, tether recovery blocked, has to Flare Blitz, does end up clipping Frog, and Neo Joe should make it back to the ledge here, but that was vital to their recovery, had to hit that side B, and they eat so much percent for it. It's another massive lead for Frog.
Going on the Charizard now, but that up B once again, it's a great tool to burst Neo Joe out of the air, and now back to the Squirtle, this comfort pick. But if you're gonna make Squirtle your comfort pick, you have to threaten them on this stage. You have to show that you can extend combos with these platforms, because otherwise it's gonna be Frog who gets all of the use out of them, avoids that down air just barely, and doesn't avoid getting knocked out of their recovery. Somehow Neo Joe wasn't able to use their tether right there, and that means this is Neo Joe on potentially their last stock.
Gotta come up with something here in game number 3. Another tether, but it's just barely able to avoid that down air. Forward tilt will not land. They cannot track down this Incineroar right now. Razor Leaf's now being thrown out, but they are also being revenged, but a grab comes through here. This is what we wanted to see. More of those projectiles, but now we see the Charizard come out. Neutral B will stuff out that attempted side B from Frog. Up B's back to the platform here. Neutral Air is revenged again. Doesn't guess the right platform though, Frog, and holding that up smash. Won't find the read quite yet. Now a side B into the stage. Great tech from Neo Joe. They'll both make it back though. Down tilts won't land here. They'll only find shield. Neo Joe holding center stage, but again it's a revenge. A downer this time around. Nearly sends them off the top. They are chasing them down in the skies. The fire types are just running high here. Another grab, and this is an up throw. The backbreaker. Good night, goodbye Charizard, and it's a 3-0 sweep for Frog.
Frog came to play and showed that they had what it takes to take down one of Stack's best. And let's be honest, Neo Joe, especially in that first game, gave him a serious challenge. But at the end of the day, it just felt like Frog was a little bit more explosive, which is why that 3-0 is going to come out right there. Overall, I feel like it was Frog's ability to get more out of these dicey situations. We saw Neo Joe go for offstage plays occasionally, but when we saw Frog risk it all and go offstage, challenging that tether recovery, getting those spikes on the switches away from Squirtle to Ivysaur, those are the big plays, the pivotal plays that keep Neo Joe from living to high percents and keep the economy swinging in your favor.
On top of that, too, just the overall aggression. I mean, how many times did we see Frog go for the up B off of things like the top platform, just chasing down Neo Joe? They had no time to breathe in this set. And the early leads, too, you could see in games 2 and 3, the 70% combos right off the bat meant so much, getting that early lead and then never dropping it. Frog, just a fantastic series from them. Neo Joe will look to regroup in the future weeks. But again, this is only week 6. We've still got plenty of singles action coming, but that's it for this week. Miles, any kind of final thoughts to help wrap up the day?
Just that there is so much more esports to be played, especially today, because ECAC Rocket League is up next. It's Old Dominion University versus St. John Fisher University, and Tiny Shiny and Chef Billy on the mic. So stick around. It won't be long before Rocket League is here to play, and you know it's going to be a good match.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to an ECAC Rocket League broadcast. The season is starting to wind down, Chef Billy. It's myself, Tiny Shiny, along with the birthday boy on the other side. Code happy birthday to Chef Billy. Glad to have you here for our cast, because these games are getting ever the more important as these teams are looking to qualify for playoffs.
It is coming up on that time. Yes, it is my birthday. Yes, I am 46 years old. No, I do not look it. I've been told that many times today. And I feel like esports is keeping me young. Seriously, these players are keeping me young. It's round number 6, week 7, but round 6, because we did have the split earlier this season. Both teams are sitting at 3-2 right now. A win today guarantees you a spot in the playoffs. If you lose today, you need to win next week to guarantee your transfer into the playoffs. So all to play for here today between these two teams. They're both sitting in 11th position. They're both at 3-2. It couldn't be closer. We got some freshmen that are playing with St. John Fisher University, Debo H. Faltz, and Logie Juan Kenobi. They're all freshmen. And we got a pole vaulter there on the team. Absolutely fantastic. I'm scared of heights, so you will never, ever catch me doing that. Never, never, ever. And then Old Dominion University, we're probably going to see Kiowat and Apig. We'll see if Ace Conjurer is going to come back in off of the bench, their captain, or if it's going to be Leafix back in there for Leafix back in for Apig. I'm sorry, and we'll see Leafix back on the field as well. So, there's a little bit of rotation going on over there. Maybe somebody has some commitments that week, but we are here. It's time to get going right now, Tiny.
Oh, it sure is. These two teams, they couldn't be more evenly matched on paper. The same records, both full freshman rosters, competing for a chance to guarantee a spot in the playoffs. The kickoff has commenced as ODU off to an excellent start as we're looking up on the top here. Up to back, it is going to be Leafix, Flip Out, and Kiowat in on the side of St. J. Fisher. For now, at least for the starting of the game, and they'll be the ones starting off unbeaten.
Well, early volleys going through here, 30 seconds in. A little bit of a filling out period here between these two squads, and, they're both equal as far as the season goes. So, my first chance to see some ECAC action this semester. And, both teams with a positive win-loss record. I like that. I also like this little switch to the field coming in from Old Dominion, looking for something on the backside. They got him past the front. The ball's just lingering there. Nobody there to bury it home.
Wow, the tap was there. Oh, the presence that we're seeing on the side of St. John Fisher right now, keeping themselves out of danger, but they're not there yet. That's a tap over the top. Nobody was expecting that, and it'll be Flip Out to strike first.
Different player. That was listed on their roster, so completely different person coming in here for Old Dominion. But just 1 minute off the clock, there's the 1-0 lead. And what I'm starting to see from ODU right now, they're starting to control the midfield boost. They're starting to control the 50s at the midfield line as well, both in the air and on the ground. Now look at this touch from Kiowat, setting up the player, and the shot from Flip Out just goes wide.
Passes are present, ODU. They have a clear idea of how to find Flip Out and the Kiowat on the field. They've been heavily in control of the possession thus far. It's on to St. John Fisher to find themselves some breathing room to work with. The demolition down in the back. Flip Out doesn't have much follow-up to work with. Won't even need it. A little bit short of the net off to the side. Going for another center here. St. John Fisher not allowing that one to happen just yet.
Tiny, what I'm seeing right now is some serious passing plays coming from Old Dominion. They have a very good synergy working on their team right now. Just the clearance out of the back turned into a goal-scoring opportunity with just one flick of the chassis. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from them right now. St. John's, though, they're starting to exhibit their own pressure now. They're starting to apply it here in the midfield and in their own offensive third. They're starting to get up on these 50s, and that's a nice takeaway right there.
You needed that one. You really, really did. And ODU right now, we were a little bit worried about them before. All right, you're putting in different players perhaps, and you have this wide roster that you're able to work with. And right now, that's not been a concern. They're still connecting these passing plays, which normally would be a thing to be worried about if you have a constantly rotating roster. And they're able to find each other downfield like this. It makes it all of the worthwhile. St. John Fisher now themselves back on the defense. Trying to roll this one straight down the middle, but it's into the clutches. A Flip Out looking for the potential double tap. Is the follow-up there? It's Kiowat coming in from downtown. There's two players in the pass, not even close to enough momentum behind that shot.
Oh, but I mean, patience. That's sugar discipline right there. Kiwat could have just gone slamming into that. Instead, decides that they want to maintain possession. And now they're getting this little French circle going around near the mega. Important touch from Lethix there to deny a shot opportunity or a follow-up. Double tap, that's an opportunity right there. Turned away once again.
Wow. This game is at such a high pace, Billy. These teams firing back and forth between the shots, the passes. No one entirely in control at all that we've seen so far. It's Debo with a nice shot in the back, but Lethix escorting it out to the corner once more. It's on H-Faults now, wanted to set up another opportunity. And John Fisher not finding themselves just yet, at least in terms of these passings in the offensive end. Old Dominion, nice clear flip out, sitting and waiting, but a nice bump actually to get that possession away from ODU. H-Fault inserting them into that situation, allowing Debo the chance to clear, as we are about only 90 seconds left in this game.
I mean, it is back and forth, this ping pong, and there's the first demo that we've seen come out there. So then that might turn into an offensive opportunity. Nice little touch going in. Oh my word, the momentum was just carrying them off to the far post. And now Lojiwan Kenobi. What can you get done here? 1 minute and 5 seconds left on the clock. Kiwat's looking for another goal.
Kiwat in control and taking it away. It's Debo wanting to get St. John Fisher onto the board right now, and it is now or never. This team, they've had many opportunities, but ones that they're just a little too slow. Just like that one, Billy. You saw the plan, but ODU did as well. That one is thwarted and done. You're going to have another chance, but it's booted down to the other side. Demolition coming into play. Lojiwan Kenobi winning that race towards the ball, keeping it alive for St. John's. They just can't find the center of the net. ODU's counterplay is simply too good right now.
The rotations are very clean there for ODU in the back, and I'm looking, they're kind of keeping the play in front of them. I like that. I would be going for the jugular personally right now, but to each team their own. They've had a couple of opportunities where they've been a little bit lackluster on the ball with the touch. That's a great touch though from Kiwat, high on the backboard, and sends it away. This is going to be a 0-second draw. If St. John's wants to continue it up, they do keep the ball up.
They do. It's Debo over the top of the net, but that last touch bearing it down to the ground could have been dangerous, but we will really never know what could have happened because ODU will be taking game number 1. Get to peep at the scoreboard here, even across the board. These two teams are going to push each other throughout the entire course of this series, Billy.
I think Lethix was somebody that we mentioned a lot. The saves were fantastic. That third man rotation, being able to distribute from your defensive third, really good here for Old Dominion. Also flip out, haven't had a chance to see any of these players, but the fact that they come in and they get the only goal here of game number. This is a best of 7, so somebody's got to get to 4 to get us to the promised land. And Old Dominion out 1-0. Tempo was something that you mentioned a little bit there about halfway through. The tempo is really frantic now. And I think that if you're St. John's Fisher right now, I think that you want to slow down the tempo. You want to kind of grind it out, kind of go in what I call the blue collar ball, where you're getting physical. We started seeing them get some demos. That started really getting some positive momentum in their favor.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, right? Is that if ODU are thriving in this chaotic sort of play style where the pace is just turned up to 11, St. John Fisher need to be the ones to close it down. And a nice play from Debo, the flip over the top. That is just textbooks mechanics juking over not one, but 2 players in the way. This is exactly what St. John Fisher needed to get the momentum in their favor.
Surgical. Absolutely surgical. Just one touch, and then they were off to the races. So maybe counterattack style is the way that St. John Fisher is going to be able to get themselves back into this series. That's a great start for them. Waterfall shot doesn't miss by much, but there's going to be a rebound on the other side.
Rebound on the other side now. Lojiwan Kenobi. That one goes over their head. Thankfully, there's more coverage in the back lines. Keep that one nice and safe. St. John Fisher. Don't want to let that lead go to waste too early on. You need to be careful. It's flip out again with a nice play of Lojiwan Kenobi taking the one-on-one up where it mattered most. They're not going to be letting ODU get away with these double taps that they're seeing. It's incredibly predictable. St. John Fisher are great at inserting themselves in that situation when it is needed most.
You know, with all the titles that you and I covered, I'm afraid that I'm going to say St. John's Fisher because we have covered both those schools.
Yep.
St. John Fisher.
There we go.
Now that we've gotten this out of our tongue, there's a scrum in front of the net. And while ODU comes out on the winner's end of that, now, here comes Flip Out. Looks like they had a chance, but what a booming clearance. And it's a race to the horses here.
Race to the horse at the tap. Oh, it was there, but ODU in place just in time. These defensive rotations, you mentioned it before, Billy, are so impressive for Old Dominion. Anytime we see it come out, it gets so close down to the wire, but there always seems to be one more person coming out like an endless stream, and that has got to be one of the most impressive things we've seen from them thus far. They're not letting their guard down ever again after what happened in that first couple of seconds of this game.
I mean, it's repeatable. I think that's what practice and scrimming will get you. Is something that's repeatable. We see it, happen one or two times. We're like, yeah, oh man, that's a fantastic rotation. Now we're seeing it game over game. And I think that's something that's really impressive of this ODU team right now is that they are able to replicate the results over and over. So great coaching, great practice strategy here from Old Dominion.
Yeah, and it's keeping them alive right now. St. John Fisher looking much better from game number 1, and really packing in the punches here, but those saves from Lethix never stop. The amount of times that this guy has kept their team within the line of play is ridiculous, Billy. It's still coming in though. St. John Fisher are not letting the foot off the gas whatsoever. As soon as they're in control, they're piling in these shots as long as possible before it takes a straight down dribble from Kiowa to the other end to finally give an opportunity for Old Dominion to breathe.
And here's what I'm going to be looking for from St. John Fisher. I'm going to be looking for some traffic in front of the net to get in front of Lethix chassis and see if they can get a bump or, a little bit of a shield, maybe a little bit of dummy play. That's a great carry. That's a waterfall shot. Getting up early, you had to push it high. The pre-jump, good from St. John Fisher on the goal line. That should be a shot. But once again, there goes Logie One Kenobi cruddy across and saving the shot.
You wanted the traffic in front of the goal. That's exactly what St. John Fisher did. That was two players just sitting in front of the net, identifying where ODU wanted to go, putting themselves there first, and now that keeps them alive. The opportunity to score, but too much power off of that corner shot means it goes right back to Kiowa. Gotta be getting yourselves in the middle of these passing plays. It's been incredibly low-scoring games so far, Billy, and that's kind of ridiculous to see with the pace that this series has been going at.
I mean, it's impressive. I can't lie. This is actually really impressive how fast and how frantic it is. There's still a measure of control. And, this is going to be an evil little lob up in there.
Oh, no!
Lethix leaves the ball on the fly. Logie One Kenobi gets the deuce.
Look at this. It hovered in front of the net for so long. There's several players that wanted to get themselves in. Logie One Kenobi able to turn themselves around and give it the little boop that it needed to get that second one on the board. With the time that's remaining, about a minute plus, the way that we've seen these scorelines go so far, ODU have quite the task set ahead of them if they want to make a mark in this game too.
Well, I mean, they're going out with a U right now. Because, I mean, they've had some opportunities. But, what we need to see is, like I said, do they got that dog in them? And, I mean, we've seen, they've had some wonderful passing plays. That's a beautiful carry. Lethix decides, you know what? I'm not going to be the third man here. I'm going to carry this up aerially for myself.
Wow.
A little flick. Just a little flick.
Look at, just a bit. Just a tiny bit. I mean, Lethix makes it look easy, Billy. That is one of the most challenging things to do within this game. You're the third man from downtown. This is what you're practicing in those arenas before you warm up, is these insane plays. For that reason, ODU suddenly very much back in this series with the opportunity to get another one on the board. Time is running low. Enemies between Flip Out has the opportunity to go in the demolition! ODU gonna tie it up with 2 in the last minute.
Look at this, and it goes straight for the netminder there. That is textbook. Absolutely textbook coming from Kiowa and gets it done. There is your equalizer. 2 goals in the span of 15 seconds, and they are hungry for more. That just goes begging just to the left-hand side of the near post. 19 seconds left here. Game number 2, all tied up. Are we going to extra innings? Are we going to that overtime and golden goal?
We are not! Over the top corner! The target practice, Billy! Oh! St. John Fisher, they're not going to let this lead slip away from them. They get it when it matters most. You cannot have asked for a better shot from Debo. That crosshair range true to the snipe of the trajectory.
It was a blue-collar goal. It was grinding on the ground. I mean, absolutely physical. Poor flip out of the play, and now 5 seconds left on the clock. They need to get a touch. They need to get a goal here to equalize. It takes to overtime goal. They have the resources. They have their teammates, but they're strong touch. That's going to do it.
Yep, that is good as done. Billy, we have got ourselves a game. Oh, St. John Fisher and Old Dominion all tied up. And you know who stepped up in this game? Debo. Debo came to play with the assists, the shots, and being there when John Fisher needed it the most.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic turnaround from them. I mean, kind of anemic. Game number one, maybe they weren't completely warmed up yet, but I think that, them getting into game, feeling the pace of the game, feeling, the tempo, getting their finger on the heartbeat of this series right now, they've really adapted early. They did slow it down a little bit. I mean, we were still pretty frantic, but they were able to slow it down a little bit. They were able to grind a little bit more in those corners around the Mega Boost. They were able to challenge in the air a little bit better than they did in game number one. So game number two goes to St. John Fisher. Yeah, like you said, now it's a best of 5. Somebody's got to win 3 more games to get themselves to 4-2 on the season and guarantee their spot in the championships.
This is a big match. There's a lot at stake here. I mean, it's not like you're going to be out of playoff contention, but it's going to make your lives a whole dang of a lot easier if you win this game tonight. And these two schools, they are going to push each other to those limits. Like you said, Billy, basically a fresh restart. Best of 5 on the table. So much potential to be yet seen.
Lethal deciding once again they're going to be violent. Oh, and the touch there comes through. Kiwat was actually following on that play, which you see flip out, rotating to that third man roll. And now they're going to get a nice little touch in there. Important touch coming in from Debo to knock that away.
Debo, spot. OW2 moving now. Nice pitch down to the other side. Not too much follow-up. We're seeing a bit more of a slower approach from St. John Fisher, which, hey, I appreciate. Doesn't feel like I'm play-by-play casting Overwatch anymore. We can slow down and we can break down these plays as they end up happening. You laugh because you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've been playing at a ridiculous speed because these, the game becomes infinitely harder when you're not taking your time. You have to be communicating, basically screaming at each other to get in position in the spot that you need to, Billy.
Oh, well, that's a dangerous touch there. Last second with Karen there. Oh, okay. Lethic's positioning. Let's talk about this gamer right now. Lethic's positioning in game sense is just on a different lane right now. Understanding where the rotation is going to come. Understanding where, a pinch is going to come from. Man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from them. There it goes again. Goes a pre-flip. Tries for the double tap. Doesn't find it. And the counterattack is on. This is where St. John Fisher really thrived. And what? How? How you get up that fast?
They're good, Billy. They are just that dang good at the game of Rocket League. You and I could absolutely never. We can just marvel at the mechanics that these guys have, the reads that they're able to get. The amount of Rocket League that you have to play to understand the ball physics, playing together, to have all of these touches in play is insane. These are young squads. They're full of freshmen. They're all first years. They keep playing together to pull off things such as that.
That is just nasty. The waterfall from way downtown. Oh, my word. Yeah, flip out, or Kielwatt had to be there, Johnny on the spot. Now the counterattack is once again on. We're kind of flipping the script here, Tiny. Where we're seeing now Old Dominion kind of absorbing the pace, absorbing the pressure, and then turning it back the other way. So they've kind of changed up their philosophy right now. Demo comes through for ODU. They got a man advantage for 3 seconds. But look at this quarter. Oh, man, Debo was looking for that near post.
As you mentioned with ODU, they're more of like shock absorbers, right? They're taking the fast-paced style that St. John Fisher's like, hey, I'm not gonna just boom it down to the other end just because it's fun. No, we're gonna slow it down, get more of these controlled passing plays in, and that's what it's not giving them as many offensive opportunities, but it's enough to keep St. John Fisher away from a lot of these dangerous shots that we've been seeing so far in game 3.
I mean, 1 goal in game number 1, 5 goals in game number 2. That was almost goal number 1 here in game number 3. My word, that was about a millimeter off of going in. Beautiful reaction time. This is absolutely nuts, the reaction time of these gamers. St. John Fisher still on the hunt, looking for a pitch play.
Still very much in the St. John's up in the corner, looking for a shot from over the top. Great recognition. themselves in there. Still in the goal. The one-man army holding down the net right now for ODU. And normally you say, hey, help Leafix out, but if Leafix is blocking every single thing put in their path, who needs to help them? Allow the rest of ODU to get set up where it needs to do so. And ideally, break through what St. John Fisher have been doing as this series has gone on. They've looked slightly more dominant in terms of the possession that they're able to grab so far. Even the couple returns that we do end up seeing from ODU, it's immediately put back.
It's just good, cleaner rotations. Both teams have really gotten the rotation cycles down. I think that's another reason why we haven't had a score yet, is because they are rotating. They are not, overcommitting in their offensive possessions. They're always got a person back ready to go with enough boost to be able to challenge any kind of an offensive threat against them.
The way that we're seeing a goal in this series is either a major mistake from a team or a play of absolute professional caliber to set these teams apart. I mean, they've gotten closer and closer, and with the little sliver of time that is remaining in this game, we know things are starting to get desperate. Nobody wants to go to overtime, and we might not. St. John Fisher, they kept ODU sleeping and knocked that one in.
H-Vault with the beautiful touch up on the ceiling, and yeah, I mean, you get it into the path. Unfortunately, of Leafix there, and actually it's an own goal. Debo with the perfect touch to get it into the path of the defender. I mean, that's just straight up good recognition of a little bit of a frantic chase back, and they get the value on the back of it. Now they're looking for a double tap on the other side. No joy. And here we go. Oh, there it is. It's going to be the equalizer. 6 seconds later, Leafix. But watch the touch here as it comes off the wall from from Leafix. Actually goes around him. There's a little bit of a touchback flip out, and they bury it true.
H-Vault wanted to get the pass, right? H-Vault saw Lojiwan Kenobi, wanted to get it through. The flip out was just there. It's like, hey, thanks for the ball. Takes it in, and it's a tie game. A couple seconds remaining. We haven't seen an overtime just yet, and this is the closest we've gotten to one so far. In front of the net, Debo senses the opportunity there. Lojiwan Kenobi, another hit up to the top. We flip out with that final touch. It will be the end of the regular season as overtime.
Yep, I mean I think that's what we deserve here. We deserve an overtime after that flurry of late second goals, all sub 4 minutes there. So now, I mean, it's golden goal time. There it is, flip out. With the I don't know if that was necessarily planned, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely aimed towards the goal. Yeah, that was absolutely intentional. Holy cow, what a shot! 11 seconds in. Old Dominion take game number 3, take the lead 2-1 in the series.
Talk about threading the needle with that. We got the overtime that we deserved. I'm amazed that was the first overtime that we've seen so far, Chef Billy, and it ended in the blink of an eye. Old Dominion pushing themselves ahead 2-1 in the overall series, and we got to turn our eyes. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the saves. Lojiwan Kenobi and Leafix really up there. We're honestly looking less at the shots that are coming in and more at this incredible defense that both sides are forced to play.
Well, and everybody had a demo, too. That's something that I want to turn everybody's eye to. This got a little bit more physical here in game number 3. So they're starting to feel like they need to get their hands up on their opponents, and I'm absolutely here for that. I want birthday brawl action, so give me that. Also, give me game 7 because that's what I have decreed as the birthday diva. I am saying that I want a game number 7, so we need some more seesaw action going back and forth. And well, here we go. Game number 4. ODU puts their nose back out in front. It's been a seesaw battle so far. Old Dominion taking games 1 and 3. St. John Fisher taking game number 2. Are we going to stay in the same vein and see St. John Fisher take game number 4?
Y'all heard the birthday boy. Give him his wish. Take us to a game number 7. It is entirely possible with the way that these two teams have played thus far. Heal with a shot over the top. Oh, man. We're already starting this one off quite explosive. Even Leafix coming in from downtown. But St. John Fisher's, their defense, their rotations continue to impress. Keep themselves at a 0-0 scoreline with a chance to flip the script.
Leafix with the pre-jump there and the little backflip. Goes forward. Now look at the spring of the counterattack going forward. There's going to be a double touch. Oh my God. Getting up early once again is H-Vault. Has been a defensive menace against this ODU team.
and will continue to be so. He's been showing up for St. John Fisher in these critical moments where they're just feel like shot after shot. They manage to fly away from the punches and keep themselves afloat. Now we're going to see where more of that midfield hustle. Who's going to gain that control? Flip out. Nice pass. Looking for Leathix. HL not allowing that to happen. The demolition coming in. We're getting that physical game. The fireworks are going off just for you, Billy.
No, I mean, thank you. I like it. I like it a whole bunch. But you know, I mean, we're seeing the physicality come through. That's a dangerous ball, but important touch from Debo going forward. Debo's gonna get it on the end of this, and there it is. No, he gets the knife. Both the crossbar. Oh my God, the fourth man after showing up huge for OG keeping it level. There's still a game on. OG1 Kenobi, hello, gets the trash in front of the net. There you go.
Woo! That was a series of chaotic events going out. You thought it goes in, but the recovery, recognizing that it wasn't over. That is the rotation that we needed to see. St. John Fisher reacting, getting that first goal of the day. And I'm just so happy to see these teams go back and forth and recover, understand the game of Rocket League to such a high standard. This is the highest level of competition that you are going to see in the ECAC League, and they are not disappointing at all.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm having a fun time. What a wonderful shot, double tap opportunity. Another shot going back. It's on. It goes in. Woo! Oh my word.
Wow. You know what this is, Billy? This is a competition to see how many times can they get us to peak our mics in one day. Like, legitimately. These goals are so nail-biting. It bounces in and out, and you really don't know what's going to happen until that split second. All over in the blink of an eye. And this game reverted to even score.
Wait a second. I haven't seen Lightning McQueen today. But if you have not seen, no. It is absolutely cringe. It's freaky. The eyes follow you everywhere. No. What they thought was a great crossover actually is the most terrifying thing in Rocket League right now. We saw it twice last night. Colton and Leighton, our producers and production staff, got laughing at us because we're FBI Topo and I were just like, it was so scary. I'm so glad it's not on here right now.
Hey, it could be for John Fisher. They matched the color scheme, right? They're all wearing the red. Just get some eyeballs on there. Try to scare your opponents. That's got to be strategy, right?
It could be. I mean, it's a great crossover for the event. Oh my God, the save off the goal line, and now the shot coming back in.
It's coming back in. Watch it.
God, this is absolute chaos. I don't know how they keep that out. That is two goals that just got robbed from Old Dominion.
I can't distill. I need to be on the edge of my seat. I must always be talking. Something must be moving. Because the series has me on edge. There's so much to be unpacking here. The shots fired. Back and forth. ODU getting it out of their defensive end. Up to Kiowat. Now with a chance off into the corner. H-Vault sitting and waiting. Not much to come unless Leathix missed the pass. Actually, demolition. Chance now. Watch one Kenobi to get some of that stabilization in for their team. Get some space back on up, but two players guarding that net with their life. It's what they need to see, but the double tap off the crossbar. Debo for SJFU bearing it to get the lead.
Unfortunately, the double punishment is punished there. Oh my God, unfortunate there from Leathix that had just respawned in after that demo. Oh no. 2-1 lead, 1:13 left here. Game number 4. I might be getting this seesaw action going on here once again. But Kiowat might have something to say about it.
And not quite this time. Flip out, keeping the chance alive. And up in the corner, which Debo easily winning out that 50. Now with an opportunity in front of the net. Leathix barely able to get out of the direction, that line of sight that was needed. They're going to go down to the other side. Debo holding down at that mid-line, taking the role of that third man. ODU managed to break through that wall. St. John Fisher have set up. No more goalie jail in the back lines for them. They are full sending into the gas. They know it is important with about 30 seconds on the clock. They're down, and they do not want to let this one end easy.
No, but I mean, these touches are meant to buy more time, more space. In the offensive third, they're looking for the follow-up. They're looking for any kind of trash now in front of this net. Yeah, I mean, great 50. They're actually absorbed by H-Vault. Low, out of boost completely. And I'm looking for a flip set. I'm looking for some kind of special touch here. 7 seconds left here. Game number 4. The comeback is on the way. The shot goes wide. 1 second left. The ball's in the air. 0-second drill starts.
Starts for ODU. They're not going to get it for long. And Debo with the clutch. They need to be very careful. All St. John are doing is trying to kill it down. That's exactly what they're going to do. We are all tied up once again at 2 apiece. We could not have asked for anything better in this series tonight.
And I mean, look at that. Once again, Lethix once again leading the lobby here in saves, 4 on the trot, and an assist to boot.
Wow.
I mean, Lethix is truly an all-pitch player. But man, look at what H-Vaults did there. 1 assist, 3 shots on goal, no saves, but they got important touches. We mentioned their name a couple of times, getting up early, getting that crucial touch to deny a goal-scoring opportunity. And that's, you may not be the flashiest player on the pitch, but you have to be a contributing member. And that's what we saw from H-Vaults do, especially high up on that far side near their goal. They were up there constantly battling out Kiowat and Lethix and really winning that 50 aerial battle time after time.
Yeah. Each player is doing exactly the role that they need to do. They're able to flex around. There's not one person doing one thing because they are all capable of showing up whenever and however they need to do so. This is game number 4. So once again, reset the scoreboard. Both of these teams are even. The next to win 2 will be the one to take it all to get that spot in the playoffs. They sure as heck know it.
We have had 3 1-goal wins. That's going to be a goal on the track. Oh, okay, that's a teammate right there. Kiowat actually just says, you know what, I'm not going to take that from you. Lethix had it beautifully measured out. Yep, that is beautiful.
Plans.
Yeah. Twins. And there's the early goal, 19 seconds in. That's one of the fastest goals that we have seen. And we're kind of playing along the script here. ODU out early in an odd number game. So we'll see if they're able to continue this moving forward.
They like their patterns. We like our pattern. What more could we ask from ODU? St. John Fisher, not much they really could have done about that last goal. Just a bunch of physics not going their direction. Who could have predicted that rotation? How many times has League done that? How many times is that happened? The ball is seemingly on the goal line, and the guy appears out of nowhere to deny St. John Fisher's shot. They have to be fuming every time, just by the mere existence. This is part of the reason that we want to see more of that physical game to get some more of these points in.
I want to see them put a player in front of Lethix. I want to see them get physical instead of allowing him to get these rotations in. The ball. Oh my God, the shot from Devo goes a-banging. That was so close to being an equalizer. We are just a minute 20 in of game number 5 here in the ECC. And the shot comes through Lethix again. Hello.
Oh.
Can you do anything else? I mean, your back has to be hurting right now from carrying your team.
Oh my, beautiful. I mean, this guy was sick of slaying goalie jails. Like, you know what, guys? Step back, cracks knuckles. This is my turn to shine. Gets out there, 2 on the board for ODU. This is the farthest that we've seen the lead between these 2 teams differ thus far. The fact that it's only 2 points is utterly ridiculous. That's how you know they're pushing each other so hard when it comes to this series, but as long as we've been looking at game number 5, it's been ODU on top until Debo takes a mark.
They punish the triple commit. If you're going to be that far down, Lethix, you better make sure that you have communicated to said teammates that yes, communication. It's a wonderful thing. And they're like, you got this. You got this. Hello?
You got this? I got this.
Any rotations? Any rotators? Any rotators in chat? No, I don't think so.
Not at all. And that's where ODU, you saw they got a little overconfident there. If you're gonna triple commit, you better make something happen out of it, because otherwise you're gonna get punished. St. John Fisher, maybe with some other, you're gonna give them that opportunity, and your lead is reduced down to 1. I better not see anything like that again from ODU. We know they are incredibly capable of having these clean rotations, of communicating with each other. So these large errors are unlike them and are the things that are going to cost them the entirety of the series. So Kiowat, these players need to find that answer. come back up. They've been doing much better in terms of their possession and control. You can tell they're really stepping up, no longer playing that patient style. They're giving those shots, that fire, they're fighting fire with fire, essentially, Billy.
I like it. You got there in the end, too.
Whoa, I did. It took me a minute, but we got there.
We got there. We got there. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's okay.
It's great. It's okay. No, but seriously, I mean, the physicality has gone up. The tempo is going back up as well. I think ODU is really trying to push this tempo forward. ODU on the back foot right now. Try to get this offensive rotation going again. That's a nice touch in. No follow on the back of it.
Follow up. That's what we're seeing. That's 1 and 2. But at number 3, players not quite willing to commit unless they're ODU that one time, which we've learned they're not going to do that again. At least we hope. Now we're looking back. With one opportunity going over the top. Yeah, nope, not going to get that one past ECAC. Predictable, as always. And it basically has the rule book, or really the playbook, written out in front of them. Flip out now, looking for the top. Adigo, easily able to read that one. Gets the free jump to the top. They're keeping this pace fast. As their ability to understand where this ball is going to be heading next.
Oh, I like this touch. But look at Debo off the ceiling.
Hey.
Says, yeah, no connections there for you.
I can't believe these guys are freshmen. I really can't. The fact that this is the level of synergy that they've been able to develop after not even a full semester, blows me away. And they're gonna have so much more time to play with each other. How much better than this can they get?
I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, everybody's allowed to try out or qualify into CRL. And I mean, looking at the synergy they got right now, there's every possibility that they can level up their play, start to learn to play a little bit more free, and really cut down these errors. That's an incredibly fast pitch off the ceiling. It's going to turn into a bad situation. Kiwan has to get up.
So little time remaining. 25 seconds on the clock. ODU holding on to that lead by 1. And if we know anything, St. John Fisher can 100% turn this around with the time that they have allocated, but it needs to be very soon. These last few plays have been the name of the game, and it's been Debo to bury it in the back. In the previous instances, it has happened in ODU. We know that they're aware of that situation. They are not going to let that control go over to St. John Fisher, if at all possible. But the tap over the top, Lisa trying to get the deny, and it will hit the ground as ODU. We're trading back and forth. Now up in the lead, 3-2.
3-2, and once again, it's the tempo play coming from Old Dominion. I mean, wow, what a surprise! It's a 2-1 score line. This is the third time that we've had this result here in our series. We've had 1 3-2 result, and that was game number 2, going in the favor of St. John Fisher. And I mean, once again, we're seeing the demos, we're seeing the saves. Well, it's the same thing over and over. Lethix is just everywhere on this field, and I love it. I love what I'm seeing from these two teams. Lethix, I mean, 500 score. That's the highest score that we've seen today as well. So, what do we see here coming from St. John Fisher? They need to get out early. I think that they need to strike early. Maybe do a little bit of a gamble. Maybe go in with a triple commit early to see if they can catch Old Dominion napping. See if they're willing. They're going to be ultra aggressive now that they're on match point, and maybe catch them in a rotation that isn't favorable to them.
That's where we're seeing most of these points scored, is either in that first 30 seconds or the last 30 seconds of these series. So either when teams aren't fully set up, or they're going to be caught off guard, or rather they're scrambling, they're in survival mode at the tail end of the game. So outside of those two limits, those are your best chances to score, is that minute of the game. It is not a lot of time to be able to work with. But if you want to make this one close, that has been where the series has been defined every single game so far. Each game, it's been a 1 point difference. 1 point difference. It's down to the wire. Neither of us can really tell who's going to come out on top until that 2 seconds are left on the clock. It is crazy that we can say that for these two teams over the course of 5 games. 5!
Well, we're going into game number 6 now. And, these two teams, are we going to see somebody actually win 2 games in a row? That hasn't happened yet. Are we going to see more than a 1 goal difference at the end of the game? We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen a shutout either this entire series. So, you know what? The offense is working. The defense is working. The synergy is working. The rotations are working. I mean, what else can we ask of these gamers right now? Nothing really. It's just the little fine details. It's the finishing. that's kind of lacking on both sides. Yes, we have had goals, 2 goals regularly from either squad here throughout the series, but the finishing could be so much more. The score lines could be even more inflated. Yeah. And I think that's the only thing that I would ask is, a little bit of that last touch. When you're going and you're trying to finish off the last part of the goal, maybe, give a little bit of an extra flick, maybe rotate your car a little bit more, maybe leave the ball off for a trailing player rather than taking the shot yourself. Something unexpected is going to make the difference here in this series. Mark my words, we're going to see something spectacular from these teams.
I don't doubt it. We are going to see something spectacular. There is no maybe. It is a yes, we will. We've seen how they end up playing, and we have to be incredibly nitpicky with the style because there's so little difference between these two squads and what's been played out on the pitch thus far. When we look at it, it's that final bit of execution, the predictability that you have. There's a specific unspoken playbook in Rocket League, and if you're going to pull from it every single time, well, guess what? That's part of the reason that these defenders are able to react quickly to block these shots that don't seem like that they should be able to. Game number 6, now underway. We mentioned this. The first 30 seconds is often that shining moment. And it's St. John Fisher with the opportunity. Demolition going out, but nobody able to recover the triple commit. Not in the cards yet today.
But, they were aggressive. They went after it. And I absolutely applauded it. That's exactly what I wanted them to do. Now is how do they recover from that? Kielwatt tries to play the ball down to Flip Out. Just does not have the ability to turn that ball around. But Flip Out actually with a nice little piece of individual skill may have just set up the goal on the other side. The touch goes just a couple of meters above the crossbar. Now we're looking for rotation on the other side. Counterattack is on. Leafix once again has control, gets the ball in their favor, and Kielwatt screaming the other way.
Kielwatt get their team out of danger now, an opportunity in their hands. Leafix over to the center, a dangerous position to be in. The demolition going on through, but it's Debo in control of the ball, keeping their team safe while they are a player down. Now's the opportunity for ODU. Yeah, they're going to have the full stack to be able to work against again. The ones are there, the coverage is, but the touch is not. Leafix missing out on that one, and it is a free shooting range without the defender in his position.
Yep, the whiff is absolutely punished out there, and nice little bit of tech there for Logiwan Kenobi to be able to kind of use the E-brake to get down faster back onto the pitch, and then just lines it up and buries it home nice and true. 1-0. A minute and 12 seconds into game number 6. This is already leading out to be what we have seen so far. The even number games have all been in favor of St. John Fisher. And now we need to see what ODU has up their sleeve here to get themselves back in. There's an early demolition, free goal.
Opportunity, it should be able to work out. Steve over the top, and no, the crossbar!
Ow.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. The opportunity was basically served to them on a silver platter, and it just all poof went up in flames. St. John Fisher,
what a lead!
They're good. They have the opportunity. ODU again, surely!
No!
They can't mess it up, Billy! Not the second time!
And there's what I was also asking for when we were in our little bit of extended break. I was, leave the ball for the trailing player to come in. They did that, but the touch was just too damn good coming in from St. John Fisher. Now the counterattack is on once again. Logiwan Kenobi's really stepped up here in the past 3 games, has become more of a factor here in it's from game 3 on. The long waterfall forcing everybody back. Leafix and company back. Once again, backward save from Leafix.
It makes it look like it's easy, and you gotta be working those out as the practice and stuff. Leafix has done incredible for ODU so far. They've had so many missed opportunities this game. It has to hurt. This could very easily have been a 2-1 scoreline. Both of those going down the drain, and now they're the ones that are struggling to keep their heads above water. They're finally going to get that clear, but with 0 follow-up, 0 boost, it's not going to amount to too much.
All right. Game on. And, everything is going on right now. ECAC is really starting to really heat up here. We've got not only this going on right now, we're going to have the conclusion here very shortly, but we're also going to have Overwatch following this. But, man, this is a nail-biter right now. We're sub 2 minutes. Only the 1 goal difference, Tidy. And And man, I mean, this is just absolutely spectacular play. The floater
Come on,
is
Debo.
denied.
Oh, Debo's not going to get there either. The coverage that these guys have, they're not all covering the same player. They're committing, hey, I got this guy, you got this guy. I mean, that is the defensive prowess that ODU are showcasing. If only we could see the same thing when it comes to these offensive opportunities. They had one that was given straight out to them. Now it's Lethix. It's their job to set up another down off the court. Doesn't quite get the bounce off the floor you want to. And it's Logie1 Kenobi taking it down to the end, trying to keep the control in St. John Fisher's favor. It's enough to keep them alive. For now, they only have that 1-goal lead, and that could change very soon, as we know this final minute brings out the beast in these players.
It has been this way the entire series. It has been this way in every single game, and now we're in that sub 60-second category. This is where they play in the power play. They bring all their stops out, and that is a great touch off the wall, 1v2. But now we're looking for the touch there. Logie1 Kenobi leaves it for Devo and gets absolutely roofed.
Oh man, that one really ends up hurting to St. John Fisher. They're close to taking this one to a game 7. They can feel it, but you cannot let that slip up.
Oh!
It's going to be down to the wire. This final couple of seconds. Devo control the time being. Over to the side, down to H-Ball, trying to get the connection to Devo. Is this one going to be the one to go in as the follow-up? All three players had a word to say on that wonderful passing play, Billy, and it very well might be us going to a game 7.
I mean, it's my birthday. I get what I want on my birthday. I'm not usually
Birthday boy wanted it.
I wanted it. And I mean, this is actually a fantastic result here for both teams. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. And that's what we've been hearkening on here. But you still have 13 seconds. There's still opportunity to score goals. Flip out wants to get it in there. Nice touch up there. Keep it in the offensive third. What does Kilowatt have? Looking for a double tap.
A couple of seconds left remaining. It is now impossible for ODU to come back, even if they manage to get that next score in. It is a 2-0, the biggest difference between these teams so far. We've broken the streak, and now if St. John Fisher want to carry this momentum, they're going to have to break it again by winning 2 games in a row.
I mean, Logie1 Kenobi showing up huge there, scoring both goals for St. John Fisher. I mentioned earlier, you know, they were ready. They were kind of non-existent in game number 1 and 2. Game 3 on, holy cow, completely different player flying all over the field. H-Fold as well. You know, we were primarily calling Debo's name here for the St. John Fisher team, but now the rest of the supporting cast has warmed up. They've leveled up. Their gamer fuel's going through their veins. They're feeling it. The hands ain't sweaty. They are ready to game on. We're at the penultimate game now. Somebody is going to win this series. That is guaranteed. How we get there? I mean, the only way this is better is if we go to that golden goal in overtime.
Yeah. How can you know? How can you know who's going to win this game? There is no way to tell statistically. It might as well be 50-50. I'm not betting any money on this. I'm not betting any money unless I have a chance of winning, and that's how close. This is how close this game is going to be. And it seriously isn't. It's going to come down how these players have grown throughout the series. They know this is game 7. They know this is what everything they have played for so far. They know the importance of it. And it's ODU to strike first. They're not going scoreless for long.
Look at this touch from Lethix. Just absolutely lays it in. Oh my God. Kilowatt understood the assignment. Aced the exam. 1-0 to ODU.
Oh, this hurts. This really hurts, but another one! Billy, it's been 10 seconds. What is happening? Oh my gosh, this is this game 7 that we all knew, that we wanted. Logie1 Kenobi off the kickoff. What a pitch, what a break. St. John Fisher will take the luck that they've been given.
Oh, you gotta hate that. You're throwing the controller on that one. You're throwing the controller, you're slamming it down. One of the two. Now a shot coming in, hits the crossbar. Follow-up chances there, and scores! Logie1 Kenobi with 10!
Billy, it's been 19 seconds! 19 seconds, we have 3 on the board! The fireworks are going off! It's Logie1 Kenobi stepping up for St. John Fisher with the 2 on the board. This one is going to get crazy.
You know what? They wanted it to game 7, and now they're going to let all the offensive prowess, and we're going to have like a double-digit score line here. I swear.
We very well might.
We might. Oh, gosh, that's a great ball in. No follow. What a touch once again from Logie One Kenobi. We cannot stop saying this gamer's name, showing up left and right and center, always on the ball.
They're where they need to be. I mean, these players, they've been going such a long game. This game of endurance right now. Tap coming from over the top. Wanted to be more of a reset. Kiowat wasn't quite ready for that backwards pass to come through. And now St. John Fisher, they're going to take the clear for basically for free. Debo, and not going to take a 2v1 as of today. The pass not complete. Look at that touch over the top. Complete things get there. Not quite. But the idea was in place. Old Dominion still have the ball in their control. The demolition, though, much needed from St. John Fisher.
Great flip there from Lee. They get themselves back into position and into a dangerous position. Tried to lay it off to flip out on the bottom there, was not able to connect with him. Great cut in there once again. Logie One Kenobi doing it again. And now we're going to see if they can pull this back. That's a dangerous ball. Got to get up early. Leafix, nice touch.
You needed that. You really needed that. Leafix coming up. ODU is at least close game. It's not even been 2 minutes. I cannot believe that I am saying it has not even been 2 minutes in this series, with this game specifically. All in action that has gone down so far. So Logie, it's been the Logie show for St. John Fisher and Leafix on the other side. We want to see more of this team plays, this passing, this high-paced level of gameplay. There's one from Debo going over the top to win. Leafix, as always, will stand true for ODU.
Oh my God, once again, the defensive prowess on the goal line coming up big from ODU. They saved their series, 2:54 on the clock. Shot goes in. Leafix once again saves it.
Another one. I mean, they're not out of this yet. St. John Fisher are pumping in the aggression. The shots, they're not going to let this one up until it's over. No, it's off the crossbar. Oh, ODU, the post. They're targeting, like the opportunities aren't there. They're just the smallest errors in targeting. It's hurting them so much right now, Billy.
Oh my God, I mean, that's robbery. That's absolute robbery. And now, you know, they've got to turn their attention back to the defensive side. Logie One Kenobi and company, they're looking for that dagger in the heart. We just crossed over halftime, and now do we see another level, another power rating adjustment here for ODU? That's a screamer of a ball. The tracer was, or the travel was there, and did not get on the end of it. Once again, Leafix getting the flip reset, getting themselves back in position, flip out, setting the ball wide. That's actually not a bad ball. No. How do you feel on the end of this?
Straight through a bullet down straight where Debo was sitting and waiting for that one to come in. ODU with opportunities, but they're not passing nearly as much. They're taking these very predictable shots as we were talking about, Billy. They're going exactly for what St. John Fisher expect them to do. They see where they're positioned, but this one, can they get a rebound? Yes! HB Vault is right where they need to be.
Oh my, it's going to come down to something special. It's got to be something special.
It has to be.
Critical. Yeah, I mean, we're now sub 90 seconds. The ball is in their defensive third. That is a dangerous carry. The ball's popped up right on top in front of the line. And yep, there we go. Flip out, gets the touch out. And now they're going to push forward.
This is the shot. This is the shot right now. Kiowat, I'm feeling it.
Oh my God, the touch.
Flip out in the corner. Oh, we are all tied up. 70 seconds on the clock. It's anyone's game.
What a touch there from Flip out. Then just a fall through. And nice traffic right there in front.
Beautiful.
Prevents any kind of a defense. Oh my God, I told you it was going to take something special. You got to play the game as it lies, and that's exactly what they did. Now, does Logie One Kenobi have another one in them to take this series 3-2? Because I think the next goal is going to be the winner.
It very well might be. So little time these teams have been playing fast game, yes, but both have been relatively flawless so far. It takes these incredible stardom plays for them to break through each other's lineups. It's crazy to see them go back and forth so far, but it's ODU now in control. They got that last goal. Momentum is on their side. Flip out the top, banging it off the crossbar. The bounce is dangerous. Can Logie One Kenobi get there? Yes, banking it off to the corner. Kibo on the reception, but misses the touch. Oh, Leafix keeping it alive. Old Dominion University now need to jet back themselves. It's Debo, a nice shot, but as always, it's good old faithful Leafix in the center of the net, denying anything coming through as the time it continues to tick down.
Kiowat with the ball going out, and there's control of the midfield boost as well. So they're going to be a little bit starved for some power there. Flip out is trying to find something on the end of it. Leafix not giving up on the play. The stop from Kiowat. Nice patience there, and tries to pull more resources out of St. John Fisher. 3 seconds left on the clock. We are going to go to that golden goal, perhaps. Yes, there we are.
We must be. We must be going to that final
Wait,
goal.
wait,
Wait!
wait.
Flip out! Flip out! No! It's off the corner. Lethix is still gonna get this. Billy, this is not done just yet. Q1 now. And the red, but it's Debo. There's nobody to receive it. You're just gonna let that one drop. You need to get the full reset. This is all for all the marbles right now. This series cannot go any farther. It's sudden death.
It's golden goal. So, I mean, the waterfall over the top,
Oh,
looking for the
Q1!
double tap. It's denied. The shot at Lethix, the star of the game, gets
Wow.
the game winner. Game number 7. 9 seconds into the overtime. Holy cow, what a series.
Lethix has been showing up every single time. You cannot see anything else from ODU. This player is going places in combination with Kiowa, with Flip Out. This was an absolute masterclass game of Rocket League that we just saw between these two teams, and it was for so much on the line. Old Dominion, they're going to be happy going to the playoffs, so you do not have to worry about facing another team like St. John Fisher, who inevitably, I mean, going into their next game, yes, this one is going to hurt, but my goodness, did they look good today.
Absolutely. You know, before we get into Overwatch, because they are probably in lobby right
yeah.
now, the ECAC is kicking off a series of giveaways going into the holiday season with their season of thanks for November. They are giving away a HyperX keyboard. So
Ooh.
type ECAC in the chat and enter the link for a chance to win. Tiny, oh my God, I got my birthday wish.
got
We
your
got a
birthday
game
wish.
7. We got an overtime golden goal. Woo! This has been a fantastic
Beautiful.
game.
Oh, it's been wonderful. I'm so glad that we got to be here to see this tonight. Happy birthday, Billy. There you go. That's your gift. Thank you to St. John Fisher University and Old Dominion to keeping it interesting and pushing the limits of what Rocket League truly can be. That's all you're going to have for this game, but don't go anywhere just yet because we still have more collegiate esports coming up. It's Overwatch right after this break.
Hard to believe that we are already in Week 7 of ECAC Overwatch 2. My name is Sam Toggs. Joining me is 2Tryhard Ray. And Ray, what an eclectic series that we have coming up ahead of us right now. With that being Plymouth State University going up against Roger Williams University. Now, interesting thing about these two teams, Ray, both of them sitting at 5-1. Both teams high chances of going to the playoffs. Both teams looking to secure that little bit of a higher seeding, whatever they can grab. This is going to be a night with heads locked against each other and teeth gritted down.
Exactly. It's going to be super important for these teams. The seeding can matter. It can definitely determine how strong or how, weak of an opponent you might get when it comes to these playoffs. So every win is going to matter. And, although it's extremely likely they're going to make it in here, another win is basically going to guarantee it. So making sure you can lock in this final win, make sure that there's just the bow has been tied. There's no way you don't make the playoffs, and then just continue this positive momentum, because Overwatch is a very momentum based. Like, you got to be thriving. You got to be just in your groove, and to keep that going and not take a step back is going to be a big thing for these teams.
Yeah, exactly. The more that you're able to thrive, the more that you are able to survive is obviously going to lend yourself very well towards many different opportunities. But Ray, look at this.
Samoa, baby. Very excited as we get Volcano as the first sub map. I'm actually excited with this one. It feels very similar to actually one of the Flashpoint maps on New Junk City, the refinery, where you have like a random hole in the middle of the point. I've actually had I've seen a couple of games where you get some crucial boops down there. Like, even though there's a little jump pad down there, it can still fend off your enemies just long enough if you can get them down there.
Well, we're going to see how well the fending is going to be done with Roger Williams already taking a smidge of that high ground. Yeaver is just not going to have a good day. Air freezing them down right away and forcing Plymouth State into awkward positions that they just cannot recover from here. Roger Williams, that is a brilliant execution for them, and already going to be able to take control of that first capture.
Yeah, to me, this already feels like a bit of a compositional difference coming out of Roger Williams. This Junker Queen with the Mei Soldier. I mean, if you're Ant, you do find the pick onto Air, so that's going to force them back. But the Genji Cassie with the Sigma is interesting, but they're just going to continue to find picks. It doesn't even matter what I say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? They could have potentially been something there, right, Ray, where Roger Williams just had speed and aggression. Collapse on top of them. And once that collapse came through, there was just really nothing that they could do to get out of there. And we're going to see if it's going to be possible for them to make that work for themselves once more, getting right back into the pace. But this time around, Plymouth State is not going to buy into that strategy.
As they're going to push forward aggressive, but Overclocked is down.
Overclocked is down, continuing to try and roll away, but it looks like the Accretion Rock is going to hit Harper instead of Air. They're going to try and get away as best they can. No Ice Block to save them. Yeaver's just going to stare them down. And this Plymouth State has just turned it right back around on their favor, Ray.
And this is where the Sigma composition thrives with the Cassidy and the Genji. You have the ability to keep your space and still output a lot of damage with your Sigma and your Cassidy, while the Genji can take advantage of any low targets with the dashes. Give Pulse opens things up with the pick on an Amp.
If Pulse opens it up, but Ant could close it right back away, especially when we look at this Dragon Blade that has been pulled. The Immortality Field is going to slow things down massively, and a really good body block from Overclocked is going to prevent Ant from doing too much more damage. Roger Williams now a bevy of ultimates on their side as well, and taking away the massiveness of that Dragon Blade.
Yeah, to be able to win that fight, Sam, and not commit any ultimates and get them to use that blade is a big deal. So they're going to be able to gain up a huge amount of percentage here. If I'm them and I'm Air, I'm going for an aggressive Blizzard here. They have not built up the sound barrier yet.
Yeah, you don't want them to take that. Amp is going to be able to build up to that just in the nick of time. At the very least, you know that an Immortality Field has been expended. Could give Yeaver the opportunity to use this Gravitic Flux. Just like I said, up in the air it goes, but it's going to be answered right back in kind with a Rampage. Still enough damage done on to get Pulse, but it's still going to be a back and forth game, as neither team has really been able to find the advantage in the numbers just yet. With Plymouth State losing out on Rimber, you don't have the support, you don't have all of that extra healing coming along with it. Yeaver, though, a lot of work being done by the tank, but it's just not going to be good enough, Ray.
both Lucio's holding on to the sound barrier. So Harper and Amp are going to be the keys to both of these teams coming into the next fight. For Amp, you're gonna have to use the sound barrier to limit Give Pulse's incoming overclock. For Roger Williams, they can pretty much get extremely aggressive with the sound barrier. You don't have any troublesome ultimates coming online that you're gonna need that sound barrier to negate.
Amp is just gonna go ahead, pop that sound barrier in combination with the Kitsune Rush. The Fox is hoping to help guide Plymouth State to their victory, but even throughout all of this, it's still becoming more difficult. Give Pulse. My goodness gracious, that overclock deadly as ever. And even more so when we looked at the overclock tank extraordinaire themselves. Sitting pretty, Roger Williams now very close to winning out on this map.
Neb still having to go over to the Tracer to try and get back quicker. That's where this Sigma composition struggles, is when you're retaking and you can't just attack this composition with all the space in the world while they can get aggressive.
All right, final fight here for Roger Williams. If they can close it out, they're going to be able to take this. We're now brought into overtime, even more so, and the axe is chopping heads right off the shoulders. Now we're going to see if Ant can do the same with a Dragon Blade, and yes, they are deadly. This blade is. They have studied the ways of it. Ray and Plymouth State is going to hold themselves on for this round just a little bit longer.
Back to the spawn rooms you go for Roger Williams as we now approach final fight territory. Two big key ultimates for Roger Williams, this Blizzard and this Rampage. Neb's still already down. Huge opening.
Huge opening. Eric gonna be the one to pave the way forward again. Has this Blizzard ready to go. We're gonna see if Ever can slow things down, bringing them up into the air with that gravitic flux, but it's not really gonna matter if Give Pulse is landing these railgun shots so perfectly, so beautifully. And now inside of the Blizzard, Roger Williams is gonna try and freeze out any chances of Plymouth State to be able to take this back for themselves. It's again the Yever show until the show has been canceled. There you have it. Roger Williams inside of overtime is gonna bring it back for themselves. The Rampage could potentially secure this for them, and at this stage what we're looking at here from Plymouth State is just trying to extend that overtime as best they can. As best they can. It's just not going to be good enough. Roger Williams taking the first round.
Yeah, they don't even need the Rampage. The damage had been done with that Blizzard and that early pick onto Neb Steel. As Roger Williams, the aggression is paying off with this Junker Queen composition. We saw Plymouth State when they were able to take the point and they were able to hold defensive with all that space. That's where things were going well. But in those mid fights where this Junker Queen, where Overclocked can just get in your face and disrupt everything you're trying to do, that's when things get dangerous. As we now move into the downtown map, we take a look as Roger Williams are now going to take a page out of their book, theoretically speaking. They are going to play the Sigma, but they are not playing a similar composition as Air goes over to the Pharmacy composition with Harper. So if you're Plymouth State, there are no hit scans available on your team whatsoever. This is dangerous.
This is dangerous. The ideal situation, though, for Roger Williams. They can close out this first map here of Samoa. It's getting very close to looking like that might be possible. Still trying to contest the airspace is going to be Ant dashing up, but you only get that every couple of times. So right back up towards safety, a little bit of concussed rocket to make sure that they're good to go. And Air is just able to control and dominate once more up in the airways. Ant so dangerously low on that HP. And then you look over at the tank. Same story can be said for them. Ant is just not going to get any healing. They're so dangerously low, 15 HP. But you got to keep your tank alive. It was a tough decision for Amp and Rimper to have to deal with. But no one to fight off Air 7-7. Sure, they may have been taken down, but you've gotten rid of the tank and you've gotten rid of Neb Steel. Beautifully executed. And even still then, the revive is going to undo Air being eliminated.
Yeah, you do get the trade onto Harper, so that's a healer off the board, but it shouldn't matter. All the picks are coming in. And the good thing for Plymouth is they were able to cap that point and get a nice good 28%, even though it seemed like throughout the entirety of that match they were losing the fight. Now they're going to have an opportunity to re-engage here as Ant is getting closer and closer to that blade, and we saw what he can do every time he pulls out that katana.
Exactly. If Ant can do it again, Air is really going to have to watch out. Living up to their name, though. Always in the air, always ready to go. And with that rocket barrage could lay down a world of hurt, trying to set themselves up in the right place, getting rid of Neb Steel, getting rid of the target that could easily take them out. Really just looking for that one and done. Roger Williams continuing to extend that lead that they just now got.
Yeah, but that's really good, just being very conservative for Plymouth State. They knew Roger Williams committed 2, now 3 ultimates into this fight. Just be patient. build up to these ults, you'll be able to come into this next fight. You are going to have such a stranglehold on the next fights incoming. They're gonna have Blade, they're gonna have Flux, Kitsune, Sound Barrier. It's going to be rough sledding. So Roger Williams have to really hope they can find a pick early on in this fight, and give Pulse's overclock might give them that chance.
We're going to see if Overclock can start things off with a Gravitic Flux of their own in combination with that Overclock. It's doing wonders. It's doing the damage. But so is Ant inside of that Dragon Blade. It's just not going to be good enough. Still charged up on that Railgun. They're looking for another opportunity. Rocket flies out of the Gravitic Flux over onto the other. And Yeaver wasn't even able to bring them right back down onto the ground. And somehow Roger Williams, 3 ultimates ripped out from Plymouth State, and they're still standing on that point.
Yeah, that was getting that pick early on with the Flux overclock combination. Then Plymouth isn't able to take full advantage of the ult advantage they have. Yeaver now going to go over to the Wrecking Ball. So a lot of disruption available, but Wrecking Ball's not in the greatest state right now, so you're really relying on being able to get on top of Give Pulse.
This is starting to become dire straits here for Plymouth State. We're brought now into overtime. Nebsteel activating the aimbot, looking towards the skies above, seeing if they can rip the wings off this Mercy, but no! Overclocked is going to throw it right back into their face. Yeaver on this Wrecking Ball has to do a world of wonders here, as time is starting to run out, numbers are starting to run low, and the HP now gone. The chances for them have been taken away. Give Pulse ending this now on that railgun shot. Roger Williams ending Samoa 2-0.
Give Pulse and Air absolutely ran things on that map. Between the Sojourn and the Pharah, it felt like Plymouth State did not have an answer. They even swapped over to the legs, to the Soldier 76, and Air is like, listen, I don't care. I got 777 in my name. I'm feeling lucky, and I'm just going to get on top of you, just like we saw in this play of the game, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And that's I mean, they couldn't, as Roger Williams dominates that second sub-map.
I was impressed here from Plymouth State, right, Ray? Everything for them was... They looked like they had something going on there, but Roger Williams just... They pulled out so much going on there. Plymouth State, though, I am kind of impressed with what we saw out of them, though. You think back and you look at what they were able to do. If they can somehow make that magic work for them when they were coming out of that initial spawn point, that could potentially lead them back into a position of dominance there. But it was just when Roger Williams really started going, when they really got that momentum in their favor, it was just a stranglehold that they never let go of. And it just goes to show you time and time again that you gotta really work around what your enemy is doing, but you got to do it quick, right? You can't just be relying on these hero plays that we saw out of Plymouth State so many time and time again.
They're playing with total aggression on the Junker Queen composition. They just got in the face of the Sigma and just disrupted everything they were trying to do. And then when they matched the Sigma, they still played with aggression. Air on that pharmacy was constantly above them time and time again, just raining those rockets down, while you have the Sigma and the Sojourn able to keep mid-distance and just rain those rail shots, those hyperspheres, those accretion rocks. It just felt like, you know, you're coming from in front of you and angles, and then above you, it was just too much for them to handle, and the Soldier 76 was just not enough to deal with the pharmacy. Yes, you have a hit scan, but Soldier alone is not going to be able to take out a pocketed Pharah.
And it felt really strange, too, when you looked at how Plymouth State was playing around the map. There were pockets of isolation, right, where they weren't really playing together as a team. We saw that happen when Air just came up and completely deleted a Soldier off the map using their own ultimate. They just saw the opportunity. They wanted to get rid of the hit scan, and they did that. And then you talk about the ultimate usage for Plymouth State. They just didn't get any value out of any of them in round 2, it felt like. They used 3 of them in one team fight, but weren't able to secure the victory. And that goes back to what we were saying, right? That early initial picks that Roger Williams were just able to get. It felt like they were able to get more value out of so many different ways that they were playing, that they just completely ran the map at a certain point. But now we're going to see, however, if Plymouth State can run the map of Kings Row and tie up this series.
Yeah, map choice coming out from them. So to me, we might be in a brawl situation for these teams. That's what Kings Row is synonymous for, is brawl v brawl action. And that's very curious to me, Sam, because we saw on Volcano how much Roger Williams was good at the Junker Queen composition. And I think, you know, we could see that time and time again. As for this defense, however, for Plymouth, they are going to play the Sigma, and they're going to play Mercy Kiriko. So to me, you know, Mercy going to be there pocketing Ant, going to help pump in heals. And remember, again, it's just not a high healing composition, so you got to find picks very quickly if you're Plymouth State.
You're feeling it for Plymouth State, right? You're hoping that's going to happen here. You are going to break the shield. Air 7-7, you can't even see the HP bar anymore. That's how low it got for them before finally being able to find respite in the arms of their supports. You trying to break that shield of Overclocked and not letting Give Pulse any opportunities inside of that. A brilliantly placed wall. Up in the air, though. Then Minnesota is not going to get caught out from the accretion wall. It's still going to be pushed away as the picks do come forward. First blood picked off again here by Air. Now for Roger Williams, a brilliant assault here on point A. Plymouth State collapses, and there you have it.
To me, Roger Williams just have such a good idea of like when they need to push and when they need to fall back, even in this Reinhardt composition. You know, they pushed initially, and as you see, the Rein's going to get walled. A very good wall. Immortality Field's going to be able to save him, but he's going to go down anyway. So now you're able to push up and take this archway if you're Plymouth State.
A small little bit of over-aggression here. At the very least for Air, you're still going to pick up one. They're trying to make sure that they can protect the Mercy to get the revive off, but Air knew exactly. They read it so perfectly, Ray, and the arrow flew true to its target.
That it did, as we now are going to get past that archway for free. The question is, you need to get back. You cannot continue to stagger here. If you are Plymouth State, remember going down, you're going to give up the bookstore for absolutely nothing now. So now you're going to be in a position by the time you're taking this next fight, final fight territory, Roger Williams is going to have a war chest of ultimate. As the shatter comes out, doesn't find anything, but this is just worse and worse as we keep going.
Oh, they're stuck inside of that little pathway. That Overclock can just abuse them, roll right in with a charge, and then the Dragon's gonna gobble up Ant. Disastrous here for Plymouth State in this hold for trying for point B.
You might get one more opportunity to push in and stop this cart from coming in. This is where you're gonna come in, you're gonna have Blizzard, you're gonna have so much to work with. This is their final opportunity to finally dig in and get something going.
They have all of these ultimates too, but it feels like Overclock is just in their faces, breathing down and not letting up at any point. And now with the amplification matrix up, those Bastion bullets turn from bullets into cannonballs.
Yeah, they couldn't even touch the point. That's how much aggression we are seeing out of Roger Williams time and time again. You even forced out the Meteor Strike from Yver, and this is just ridiculous. Yeah, they are just coming into this map on Kings Row and just pressing the WQ and just attack, attack, attack.
And look at where Overclocked is set up. They're set up right at the spawn door. They're gonna go on to the other side, but now we're seeing another switch here from the tank. Ever on the Orisa. In comes the artillery strike, and finally the dominating archer of the hour is going to be taken out. Ant is going to draw the blade once more and finally start slicing and dicing, finally stopping the roll of Roger Williams, but not before they basically have gotten to the golden gates of victory.
Yeah, it took both your DPS ultimates as well. So as we now see Yver gonna go over to the Winston. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea given the fact that there's a Hanzo that's easily diveable, but it's tough just with the amount of pressure Eric can put onto the Winston.
Overclocked is just swinging for the fences. They're all falling, they're all dying. No one can survive and sit up to them. Air just doesn't miss. He keeps going. They are unstoppable.
As time and time again, Air is just uncontested on this high ground as it feels so futile. The sound barrier now comes in.
The sound barrier comes in. Roger Williams, you see Overclock. This may be something that they can find here. And dashing, moving, before finally getting punted away by Give Pulse. Overclock running out of HP, gonna back off for a second here. And again, Plymouth State has done it, pushing back Roger Williams.
Yeah, the res comes in onto Ant, and that is just going to be a full backup. They get overclocked, and now they're finding more stragglers. This is only more gravy for them, as the more picks they have, the more time they waste on this clock, because Roger Williams came in with such a gargantuan time bank. Look, they still have over 3 minutes left on the clock, Sam, despite losing these last two fights.
And that's such a massive amount. Let's see what we're gonna get out of this Earth Shatter, and it is going to shatter the expectations of everything that we had for Roger Williams. Plymouth State wiped off the map, wiped off the board, and Roger Williams so close to getting that payload, may be able to take it all the way. Nebsteel so close to being able to contest, but contestation was just not in the cards. Roger Williams all of the way with almost 3 minutes on the clock.
Very impressive timing coming. Excuse me. Very impressive timing coming out from Roger Williams. Their aggression has just been so evident throughout this entire series, and we're only 2 maps in. I'm going to remember this even like weeks from now. I'm just going to remember how aggressive of a team Roger Williams is. For Plymouth State, they showed some flashes on that 3rd-point defense where they started to bring things together. They used their ultimates pretty well, but at some point, Roger Williams just, look, we're 1 fight away from taking this point home. We're just going to build up to our ultimates, use them, and it's not going to matter at that point, because sometimes Overwatch boils down to, I have more ults than you, I win.
Can we also give, like, massive props to Air, Ray?
Yeah.
They're Hanzo. My jaw is still on the floor with some of the shots that they were landing.
I'll pick it up for
that
you.
I think. Thank you. I'm gonna need someone to, because you think about it. You look at that moment where Overclocked went down, and we were thinking that this is Plymouth State's opportunity to hold on to the archway, but it was Air. They got rid of the Cassidy, then they got rid of the Mercy, who was trying to go for the revive, and those shots are not easy to land, but they were able to do it. And then that opened the door wide open for Roger Williams to basically go all the way to point B.
As we see Roger Williams now on the defensive center, they will play the Sigma, which is going to be a lot more conducive to playing this defense, as Plymouth State goes for more of a diva dive composition, but going into the Sig, this is going to be a tough task because you have to deal with May, whose primary fire you can't eat, and Sigma, who's a Cretan rock, can just absolutely disrupt everything as a diva.
And look at how staunch Air is holding up on this high ground, not giving it up for anything, not getting greedy, not getting over aggressive. They're dancing along the rooftops like they were born up here.
And that's the job of Nebsteel, Ant, and Yver, is to get on top of Air and not allow them to be able to have this high ground for free and take all of these angles. Big anti-nade, but it's not enough.
Oh, it's a big anti-nade, like you said, in Nebsteel. They looked like they were going to go somewhere, but instead it was just right into the waiting arms of a wall. Yver is so low on their HP, using what little bit of the defense matrix they have left before getting hit with the accretion rock in their face. It's just no one from Plymouth State is able to shake the confidence of Roger Williams.
As they're aggressively able to take this corner, as this diva composition, it's going to thrive on finding isolated targets, but trying to push in, especially against the Sigma, is almost impossible. Tactical visor.
Now Air is just popping that tactical visor and bullying them at their spawn. Is really what's happening here right now, Ray.
Oh my
This
God.
is a desperation Kitsune rush to try and force Roger Williams away. It's going to give them a little bit of that space that they were looking for, but that space is their front door, Ray, before we're seeing the blizzard coming through and giving everyone on Plymouth State frostbite.
It is absolutely ridiculous what we're seeing from Roger Williams. And they're just rotating ults. They won the previous fight, which is Tactical Visor. Then they throw in Blizzard and Valkyrie. They're going to have 2 more ultimates to commit into here. The one danger they're facing, though, Sam, Ant. We saw on Samoa, he can really take advantage of those blades. But on this map, Roger Williams has done a great job of limiting the value he gets. He's got to come through for Plymouth State to get them this point.
All right, here it is, the Nano Blade, but they were waiting. The Kitsune Rush, the Graphitic Flux is going to stop them right down, but Ant does get the deflect kill onto Minnesota. It's going to be undone by the Harper revive, but Give Pulse has fallen as well. Roger Williams hemorrhaging players, hemorrhaging people, but it seems like as long as there are players still standing, Plymouth State is not able to take this point just yet.
That is insane, and that was big plays coming out from Harper, getting that res onto Minnesota for them to be able to. It's a big anti-nade comes in, they're able to get overclocked with the immortality fields there.
Immortality field and the heals go through. Overclocked is not missing with these hyperspheres, finding their target time and time again. But Nebsteel looking to do the same thing that Air was on this Hanzo. And finally, for Plymouth State, after being bullied in their own spawn room, are going to be able to take point A.
3 minutes off the clock for Roger Williams, so all things considered, incredible defense. But Yver coming through with the overclock, and Amp on this Ana has silently been setting up Plymouth for some big time situations. I mean, the first entity we saw, they were not able to take advantage, but they were on the second one with the Rampage follow-up. But Roger Williams is just smart. They're regrouping, and they're going to play the archways here. We didn't see this out of Plymouth on their defense because they were just getting staggered constantly.
Beautifully playing around the corners as well. A gravitic flux from overclocked, already built up to another one, by the way. That is insane. Nebsteel just out in the open, no one able to heal them, and so much damage. There was really nothing that they could do, and look at what overclocked is able to accomplish here. So much off of the backs of this one tank, saving so much damage, saving so much face here, that this Kitsune Rush had no value whatsoever.
That it did it. And it's just, again, this is where we're starting to see the value of playing this archway. Air's able to get the high new, and with all the damage, especially with the Sigma, with a Sojourn that Give Pulse is on now, Air on the Fastly, it's just a lot for you to deal with if you're Plymouth State, and there's only 2 or 3 directions you can come from. You can either come in front, that's tough. You can go around, that's going to be just as tough, or you can spend a lot of time and try and go above.
Going to see whatever Plymouth State's strategy is going to be. It's going to have to be the winning one. Still stuck at this archway. Now with an amplification matrix coming, it's still going to be that much more difficult. Minnesota is going to even things back around and now give Pulse inside of an overclock with an amplification matrix. Name a deadlier combo. I'll be waiting. As already is doing his job, is felling members of Plymouth State who just cannot see what's past that archway.
As we're coming up to just under a minute and a half left on the clock, Plymouth State, they're going to have this Rampage online. We saw what Yver did last time, so that's their win condition to finally get this cart moving, but they have so much distance to clear, Sam, and they're at a point where I don't even think they can finish this map with time on the clock, but they got to get some positive momentum going.
Now they're just standing on top of them in their spawn room. This is the confidence that Roger Williams is exuding. They're gonna fight Plymouth State on their own territory. Neb just has no hope of being able to get out of there. 2 players in front of their faces. What are you really gonna be able to accomplish? And then Air on top of that is just gonna throw out a Deadeye and get a kill like that. But finally, maybe with this overconfidence from Roger Williams, Plymouth State is gonna find their opening, but no! Air is just free farming, it feels like, right in the open.
As, I mean, you are down 1 in this fight because you lost 2, you were able to res 1. Harper's going to use the Valkyrie to try and keep them going in this fight. 30 seconds left on the clock for Plymouth State as Yver is now going to go over to the Ramatra, which I kind of like this, being able to get in the face of Overclocked on this Sigma and really brawl him out. He can't do anything about a Nemesis form Ramatra punching him.
So, it's going to have to be big here. Another Gravitic Flux is going to stall things out, and a little bit of damage put onto them. Their tank has fallen. Both of the supports are gone. They have a world of hurt waiting for them. Roger Williams eliminated the competition in spectacular fashion. Put respect on the name. Overtime ticks away. Roger Williams now 2-0 on series point.
As it feel like outside of Volcano, Sam, it feels like they have not had to, like, they haven't been nervous. Doesn't feel like there's sweat dripping down the forehead. They're just cool as a cucumber. Just playing their style of Overwatch, making it work with all this aggression, and it's really showing through and allowing them to have such a dominating effort.
You look at the lineup, you look at this roster and how well they're playing together, Ray. This is just a monumental task that Roger Williams is kind of just dissecting piece by piece. You look at players like Air, they're not missing their shots. I don't know how they're doing it, but every single shot feels like it has so much impact time and time again. And then Overclocked, this tank has to keep their team safe, right? The objective of the tank. Not only are they doing that, but they're doing that in ways that it completely throws Plymouth State into chaos over and over again. You think you remember the Kitsune Rush inside of that archway? Nah, just stood their ground and completely denied anything coming out of that Kitsune Rush. And then you let Air do their work on that on either Cassidy or Hanzo. It doesn't matter. It just felt like Roger Williams was running King's Row.
I mean, once again, they just have confidence at an all-time high. Like, look, we don't care. We're going to stand above your spawn room because we're confident that we're just going to keep killing you. It's not going to bite us in the butt. We're going to keep finding picks, and we're playing a mercy, so even if we lose someone, the res is just going to come in. The compositions they're playing are just backing up this this confidence and attitude they have as a team.
They have the attitude to go along with it, but let's find out if they're going to have the attitude to close out this series. Ray, we are, of course, on the final map here. We're on the final match, and I think I heard Dorado?
That is what I heard as well, heading in to escort for that final map type. The big question for me is Dorado. I think you can expect Sigma, generally speaking, coming out from these teams, but Dorado is a very heavily high ground based map, especially on the first 2 points. So are we going to see some semblance of a dive? We could see D.Va. We did see that for a slight moment coming out from Plymouth. Maybe we see Winston's come back in. I mean, Gibraltar, you still see Winston on Gibraltar, so maybe on a map like Dorado, we could see some like non-Sigma based compositions.
Hopefully whatever it is going to work out well here for Plymouth State University. The last opportunity now, Ray, to start their reverse sweep. Otherwise, Roger Williams is going to be walking away 6-1 here in week 7 of ECAC. A lot of pressure for Plymouth State, but a team that has made it this far, a team also sitting at that 5-1 scoreline, and a team that wants to go into the playoffs at that higher seed. It's tough, it's pressure, but it's in these moments sometimes where pressure can make the best out of teams.
Couldn't agree with you more. Sometimes, you know, what's the saying? Pressure will turn you into diamonds. So hopefully we can see that out of Plymouth as we take a look at what they're playing on their defense. They are going to go to that D.Va composition, and they're going to take a page out of Roger Williams' book. They're going to go over to that pharmacy. I think the one interesting thing is I love seeing the Ana come into this play as we see some changes, Sam. I don't know if you're noticing, but Ant is on the support. We have Amp playing tank, and Yver is on DPS.
Unfortunately for Yver, they're not going to do much out of that Sojourn. Neither is Amp on that D.Va already. Roger Williams putting their mark here on the map of Dorado, and Air cleaving everyone in sight lines of them on this Genji. It's basically going to be them just continuing to push forward too. Look, oh my word, oh my gosh, Air. You didn't have to do them dirty like that, but you did.
Air absolutely wrecking through the backline and the entirety of Plymouth State as we see swaps coming in. Nebsteel gonna go over to that Cassidy, but is that going to be enough? Because that's already a quick and decisive first point cap for Roger Williams.
They're just gonna fight them inside of their spawn room. That's exactly what they're gonna be doing here. And what's even worse is that Air is gonna get away with their life right down as the mech was coming on top of Air's head. He dashes forward, probably just clipping a little bit of their toe. Ant had no chance of getting out of there. Air is playing Genji right now, Ray, but they are the Reaper of this map.
They're just being a straight up assassin. They're finally going to get punished for their transgressions of going into the spawn rooms of Roger Williams. Overclocked, however, finds the eggs being picked on. To remember, that's a lot of main heals off of the floor. They stop the res.
They stopped the res. That was vital. You saw that Overclock was trying to put up the defense matrix to protect their teammate, but it doesn't even really seem like it matters. Did Overclock go in just like that, taking on everyone inside of there? A self-destruct blows them up to Kingdom Come as well. And it just feels like Roger Williams they press the W key and they're just not stopping. It's W key, left click.
And now Air is gonna have a blade coming into this next fight. So this is where the pressure continues to mount. And so far, Sam, they're still looking like a lump of coal. They have not been turned into that diamond yet.
Roger Williams on the flip side though, Ray, shining beautifully. And now we're gonna see what Air can do if you give them a Dragon Blade. My word, one swipe, 2 deaths. Roger Williams, you gotta give Air something out of this. He does get crushed underneath that that Diva mech coming in, but already the payload's at point B. Is making its way towards the final point. Roger Williams having the time of their lives right now.
Yeah, and the D-Mech's now going to come in, and once again, Roger Williams pays for their aggression. I mean, they've been making it work, but this map has been a little bit ridiculous. Pulse Bomb's going to come out and doesn't find anything, but they're going to have to go back. As now we see Plymouth State, Ant is on the Life Weaver now, which is going to provide an incredible amount of heals to their team.
They're going to need those incredible amount of heals if they want to stand up to the assault that has been the Roger Williams attack. And for Plymouth State, this finally might be the opportunity for them, Ray, to dig their heels in and hold these points.
You're going to be coming in. Give Pulse has the duplication online. We saw last time they duped Amp and went double Diva, which was extremely potent and really got things going. What are they going to look to do this time? Air already finds Remember.
Oh, and then you're going to try and use the Deadeye. Nebsteel completely rocked off their socks from that flower petal. Overclocked is not going to waste any time, not going to give them any chances whatsoever, and Give Pulse inside of their duplicate here of the Cassidy is going to do a massive amount of work on themselves as well. Roger Williams now so close to that final point.
Yeah, it's just around the final corner. You're going to have a tree of life coming into this fight, which is going to provide a gargantuan amount of heals. The question is, can Roger Williams burn through it? And it looks like they can.
Roger Williams, if they have their sights set on something, they're absolutely going to do it. Up in the air goes the self-destruct. Thankfully, no one to fall from it on the side of Plymouth State, but Air is still going to do what they do best, and that is get all of the kills in the world. Another self-destruct is going to go out. No one to fall from that one either, but gives Plymouth State some very valuable room to breathe. Harper is going to get the revive off onto Minnesota. If we look over here on the payload once more, we're going to see a D-mech'd Amp, but also Overclocked joining that as well. Give Pulse, give it the nano boost, laser beaming down and inside as they try to regroup towards the healing of the spawn room, but not going to be able to get that for themselves. Now Give Pulse duplicating onto the Genji, of course, able to build their way up towards that Dragon Blade. Give Pulse not quite able to get there just in time, starting to run low on the duplication timer as it runs out for them, but still did a heck of a lot of damage. And Plymouth State doing a fantastic job here, Ray, of at least preventing Roger Williams from getting this final point.
Yeah, they're continuing to drain this clock. I like the Arista coming out. Rember gets Give Pulse, and Roger Williams might have to rethink some things, but they get the res.
They get the res, but even more so, though, if you look at it here for Roger Williams, they get Amp, and now things are going to fall right on his head. Nebsteel wanted to desperately climb up the wall, but Air knows exactly where they are going to be. Gets the shots, they land them, they get the kill. Now looking back over towards here with the Amplification Matrix, just going to stand toe-to-toe against the tank. Now the payload, reaching the finish line, reaching the final point once more. 2 minutes and 11 seconds on the board for Roger Williams.
Look, I know it's been a rough go in this series for Plymouth State, but I want to give them huge props to that third-point defense. Roger Williams came in with almost 5 minutes on that third-point defense. They were able to buckle down, make some swaps. I like the Arista coming out onto the field. Diva, it's really hard to burst down a target like Arista because you can just use that javelin spin to eat up the micro missiles. And you have your fortify, and you're just really chunky. And they wasted a lot of time on that clock to where they only have 2:11. So all things considered, a pretty good point C defense, as they're going to have to come out strong on this attack if they want to fight back into this series.
There's a lot of expectations for Plymouth State here. They need to go all the way. They need to try and meet or at least surpass the time bank of Roger Williams. And then they need, of course, obviously, to win out here on the map of Dorado. Begin that reverse sweep. It's tough. Again, we really gotta echo that sentiment. We gotta hammer that down here, Ray. It's not gonna be easy for Plymouth State, but again, when it comes to these collegiate teams, these expectations are something that helps them to push themselves further. And for Plymouth State, with what we saw out of that point C defense, a very distinct possibility.
So take a look at this composition for the defense from Roger Williams. They're going back over to Overclocked on that segment, which is going to make things that much harder for Amp. As I spoke, that Accretion Rock can just be so deadly as a Diva player because you can get your mech down focused quickly, and Nebsteel's already down.
Not quite the way that you want to start off your attack, and then Air setting themselves up on the opposite roof, waiting for anyone who might want to come up here and contest them. Give Pulse is going to be opposite of their compatriot on the opposite roof, as Air drops down from above, and like an assassin, I called them the Reaper as Genji, but now they're the Reaper as Reaper. Doesn't get much simpler than that, Ray. Down onto the ground, they see Amp out of their mech, and that's just easy pickups.
I lost my Sombra, but I don't care. I'm going to continue to find these picks and keep us in this fight, as even Neb Steel gets low again, is forced to use that deflect. As just look at the pressure Air is constantly able to put onto Plymouth State. This has been the map of Air.
This has been the map of Air, and then you look at what more they're doing. They're still hiding out in these sort of little hidey holes, these corners, these positions where they're finding so much value out of this time and time again. And it's really kind of just distracting Plymouth State to get rid of the Reaper. Meanwhile, Roger Williams is just raining hellfire on them from above.
Yeah, it's just so tough. As Air again and again and again. It feels like we can't stop praising Air. But this entire team of Roger Williams are just playing so well. Minnesota has just been doing an incredible job on the healer throughout this entire series of keeping an aggressive team alive. That's a really tough job for a support when your team wants to play aggressive like this, to keep them alive time and time again.
They had to realize that he's sitting up there. The Death Blossom has bloomed. It's really only going to grab Ever out of it, but Air's done their job. They softened him up for the rest of Roger Williams to chew through them easily enough.
Yeah, damage has been done. They're continuing to only find more and more staggers. EMP is in the back pocket for Give Pulse, so this could start to bear weight even further onto the side of Plymouth State.
This has to be even more frustrating for Plymouth State because you get so close to getting rid of one of them and they just translocate out of there. Here comes the EMP, massive EMP, by the way. That overclocked Gravitic Flux was just able to knock them right off their chairs. Roger Williams, firm. They're not giving up anything. They're not giving up any space, Ray.
As half the time has already gone off the clock. 1.5 minutes left for Plymouth State. They are coming up on Kitsune Rush as Roger Williams committed to every ultimate they have outside of the captive stud. So this is their opportunity, especially with Neb Steel getting closer and closer to this Dragon Blade.
Neb Steel, all eyes are on you, my friend. Again, that's a lot of pressure, I know. But you started things off beautifully. The captive sun, however, unleashed out onto the field. A monumental amount of damage that Neb Steel isn't even going to get the opportunity to use that blade in this team fight. A good self-destruct, however, might give Roger Williams some pause and could potentially give Plymouth State some room to get this payload moving forward. But Minnesota holding up on this high ground, free firing from above, finally going to be pushed off. And not only that, but taken out by Amp. But really, you look at what's happening here already. Neb Steel is going to be at the very least hacked out, but they're gonna wait for that opportunity to finally use this Dragon Blade. But if these dragons have any roar left inside of them, that they do. You've gotten rid of Overclocked. Finally for Plymouth State, a little bit of optimism in their way, but optimism might turn to pessimism as Amp falls.
As that's 2 picks coming in for the side of Roger Williams, but you are able to find these exiting picks. As 15 seconds left on the clock, one final fight, as Roger Williams are going to get an attempt to come back in this fight. Air's going to have the tactical visor, but they're not allowing him to get any room, and that's bad for Roger Williams.
That is bad for Roger Williams. Beautifully done by Ever. Needed to win out in that duel, and doing that exactly as what they have done. Give Pulse now translocating themselves over into a little bit of safety, regrouping with Harper on this Alari to get the heals that they were looking for. Roger Williams, though, ready to strike back, ready to throw out the haymakers. The Gravitic Flux from Overclocked has just signed, sealed, and put this matchup away for Roger Williams, winning out in this series 3-0.
What an incredible series coming out for Roger Williams. Side note, I was really expecting the signed, sealed, delivered, just saying. As Roger Williams, man, they really shown why this team is 5-1. I think we kind of mentioned it talking before the match started, that you felt like Roger Williams had played a little bit of a tougher schedule, and the sharpening iron came through strong, and it seems like playing those tougher teams have really helped them out.
The proof is right in front of our eyes, Ray. Honestly, with what we just saw out of here, this was not just only a win, but this was a dominating win in all aspects of the word. It looked like, especially on Samoa on that volcano map, like things were going a little bit scary for Roger Williams, but we could potentially chalk that up to just being a new map, right? Not being overly familiar with it. But then when we go back to the greats, right? When we go to Kings Row, when we go to Route 60, when we go to Dorado, it was Roger Williams. It was Roger Williams all the way, and there was never any doubt about that at any moment. Now, we do have something very interesting to talk about here as well, Ray. We're going to be pulling up the stats for Air, all 3 games combined. And this is something that I was very interested in seeing, the statistics coming out of this one player who did so much.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane as we see that on the bottom in the series. So in every map, they were definitely averaging 10K damage, more than that, 11K. And those matches were especially that last one on Dorado, that was less than 10 minutes. So they absolutely insane with the damage. And they're able to follow that up with so many eliminations. 111 in 3 maps. That's an average of like 38, 37. That's ridiculous.
Jeez, not only that,
37, 37.
13 ults used, and then 63 final blows. Well, Air was having the series of a lifetime. It felt like everything that they were doing was phenomenal. But I want to talk about this even more because we have some stats that aren't being shown on screen. Ray, they died 19 times for a DPS.
That is crazy. So an average of basically like, let's just call it as basically 40 and 6 every single map. That is insane. And then averaging 11K damage to go along with that. That is crazy, especially with how fast those maps were going.
And that's not even talking about the rest of the team either, right? You think of players like Overclocked, what they were able to do on the tank, right? That very final that very final gravitic flux.
Minnesota.
It was very flashy. It was
Minnesota
really cool.
With that healing. 33,000 healing. I mean, I knew that they had to be getting a lot of healing from the aggression that this team plays with, but that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And this is what we're talking about. Overwatch is a team game. Overwatch is a game where every single piece of the cog needs to be working together. That's the thing that we saw out of Plymouth State, right? Some of those players are really, really good. Some of those players obviously know what they're doing. But the problem was it didn't feel like they had the team cohesiveness that was necessary for them to really push forward and stand up to Roger Williams. And that's something that also they need to be able to work on for themselves going on into the future.
Could not agree with you more. But before we get going, have something special to talk about with you guys. ECAC is kicking off a series of giveaways going into the holidays with their season of thanks. For November, they're giving away a HyperX keyboard. Exclamation ECAC in the chat to get the link to enter for a chance to win. And it's a pretty nice keyboard. So you guys make sure you enter that.
HyperX makes some really good products. I'm using their headset right now, so I can vouch for the quality of these products. Go and check out that keyboard, though. !ECAC once again. And as a reminder, on Friday, we're going to be doing ECAC League of Legends at 8 p.m. EST, and then Mountain West at 11 p.m. EST. So make sure to follow the channel so that way you get notifications to when we go live. And of course, to when we go live for all of the other amazing games that are on this channel, some including Rocket League, Valorant, great game of League of Legends like we just mentioned. But thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see all of you on the next broadcast.
Later.
But yeah, I'm just surprised that the Swain didn't end up moving a little bit sooner. His now, Jana, no flash.
He'll flash, auto attack, first blood. Froggy is the one to pick that one up, and Evelyn Bot is in the area. Descent does drop the Rift Guard. They're going to look to engage. It's going to be a Cataclysm getting dropped down, but Veigar got pulled into the Cataclysm, which could be trouble.
Ooh.
Down goes Evelyn Bot, down goes the Veigar as well. Hugs Descent and the support on the one side, but they're going to be the ones to get engaged on. Ultimate coming out for the Malphite onto the Veigar, but the Veigar is still okay for right now. He's going to try to flash.